Hello and welcome to the 9th round of the 2021 Race Factory Gaming Grand Prix Championship here in MX Simulator. It is the MX Simulator Grand Prix of Sweden here at Uddevalla. We just did the Belgian Grand Prix recast earlier today. Now it's time to recast the Swedish Grand Prix. This race happened a week ago and a day, essentially. It happened last Monday, not this past Monday. As you guys know, we just had the German Grand Prix, but the Swedish Grand Prix has already run. We're going to recast the race right now and check out what happened in all four motos from a week ago. This hot lap tonight is brought to you once again by atom.com, but it's going to be Daniel Irvine of the atom.com team showing us around the track here tonight. Adam Holm was not able to provide a hot lap, unfortunately, for us, so he sent the task to his teammate Daniel Irvine. Is going to show you around this track here in Sweden. First couple of corners go through a little gully back and forth, and then you go down past the large spectator area along the hillside on the right here. Big tabletop to throw it over for them, and then a long single jump takes you all the way down kind of into the back of the top section of the circuit here. Little U-turn kind of funnels you back, and then there's some switchbacks all the way until you get pretty much back to the starting line. So you go up, U-turn, tabletop, back down, and then U-turn at the bottom of the hill in this bowl corner, some rollers up the hill again. Get hard on the brakes, try to get to this inside rut and carry speed all throughout the corner. That corner will definitely be getting deep throughout the evening. Left 180 up the inside again for Irvine, hits the wall jump, and then back on the power all the way to this uphill tabletop race tech step up jump. And then you're right by the starting line here, but you're actually going to drop back down to the other side of the circuit. There's a little valley that separates kind of the top of the track from the, quote, bottom of the track. And so Irvine goes through that valley, little kind of bottom of the valley action here, left and right. 180 takes you up to the other side. Then a step up and another little jump onto a plateau. Left hand, long kind of double kink apex. Sweeping left-hand corner, big tabletop here at the backside of the circuit, and then a little wall jump funnels you back down into the bottom of the valley one more time, up over that race tech finish line jump, down past the mechanics area and into a tight little chicane, and that's a lap here tonight at Uddevalla. Well, welcome back, everybody. We just streamed a little bit earlier on today. We streamed the Belgian Grand Prix recast, like I mentioned earlier today. So thanks for any of you guys that tuned in for that. But if you're just joining us for the first time, just making up some of these races. I was sick all of last week, and I actually was on vacation the week before that, so I missed the Belgian round, which was round 8 of the GPs 2 Mondays ago. Then I was sick all last week, so I missed the Swedish Grand Prix last Monday. Obviously, we just had the 10th round of the German Grand Prix this past Monday, yesterday, basically. But we're making up some of these broadcasts, going back and seeing what exactly happened in those races. So let's jump in and talk about some of the storylines to talk about. First of which, talk about the broadcast schedule, I guess, real quick, and where we're at. We're at the recast of the Swedish Grand Prix right now. It's starting a little bit later than expected, but we're still going to be getting after it right now. And then tomorrow, actually, I'm thinking more at 2 p.m. Pacific, we'll do the Budds Creek recast, which was round 9 of the national championship that happened last week. And then we'll be back on schedule, and you guys will be able to join us tomorrow night live for the real action, real ready, steady, and ready to go action from Ironman round 10 of the Race Factory Gaming National Championship. And then we just got 4 to go, basically 2 rounds in each series left after that. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty of this championship, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Let's talk about the qualifying times that we saw at Sweden. Alexis Leclerc went fastest at a 1:37.429. Tyler Lang, Matthias Janis, Luke Magnetti, Adam Holm all in the mix as well. And you can see times very close at the top. The top 5 only separated by barely 0.4 of a second, so less than a half a second at the top of the sheets there. Pretty much all the way down, you have to go pretty far down to even find like 4 or 5 seconds in it from the top. So good action to be watched in the MXGP class. In the MX2 class, Payson Johnson was fastest at a 1:37.343. Colby Eaglin 1:38.1. Leitzel, Burns, Shirley, and Bordeaux all in the mix. And Johnson having just won the Grand Prix at Lommel, coming off of a bit of a hot streak here, trying to claw back some championship points against his teammate there in Cooper Hunt. Cooper Hunt qualified 15th for the Swedish Grand Prix. Did want to touch on this real quick before we got started tonight. The Racers for Waverly Foundation basically has begun. For those of you that don't know, the Loretta Lynn's area and the Hurricane Mills, Tennessee, and Waverly, Tennessee areas around Loretta Lynn's ranch have been completely devastated by floods, unfortunately. Some lives have been lost, and they're still dealing with rebuilding a lot of the towns. So the Racers for Waverly program is set up with Road to Recovery, and their donation goal essentially is to try to reach $500,000. So if you guys could head over to the Road to Recovery website and get involved by either donating there, already up at 66,000, so that's great to see. But also, if you guys donate at all tonight on the broadcast, I'm just going to send those straight to this fund as well. So anything you guys want to donate to help out the people in Tennessee after this just really terrible flood, and a lot of lives have been lost so far, including the longtime ranch hand at Loretta Lynn's ranch. So unfortunately, some people kind of close to the industry as well, because he was always there to help out with the event every year. So just get involved if you guys can, and if you donate here, like I said, I'm just going to funnel it right over to them. All right, so we're going to jump in and get ready to go racing here. MX2 Race 1, I've already got the demo loaded up, so we're going to see what happens here. Let's see who we're going to watch on the start. Maybe we'll take a look at Cooper Hunt and the red plates, and we're just going to go straight into it. Let's make sure I got the moto name on here correctly. Got 250 Moto 2, and we'll grab the moto timer right there. And here we go. Let's drop the gate here tonight in Sweden. Cooper Hunt, we're going to take a look at him from the get-go here as the 30 card goes sideways. The revs are coming up, and we're going to go racing here in Sweden here for the recast. The 11 there hitting the gate. That was Luke Sullivan, and some heavy contact into the first corner allows Cody Cooper through to pick up the Race Tech Whole Shot Award. It's Cody Cooper from Casey Cochran in the early runnings. And just like we saw earlier today in the Belgian Grand Prix recast, Chris Post has got another great start in a first moto here, as everybody kind of funnels through here at the top of the hill. Braden Carter repping a 125 this week. He was riding the 450 in Belgium, now riding the 125 here in Uddevalla, but they are all still chasing Cody Cooper. Not anymore. Cody Cooper has gone down, and Casey Cochran has assumed the race lead, BPC's own. Casey Cochran, winner of a Supercross main event earlier this year, dealing with some pressure from Jaden Wilson, Ryan Pinkerton, also right there on the 395. And these guys are going to settle in and go 30 minutes plus 2 laps, and they're going to do it twice. So very, very early runnings here in the program. But good to see you guys here joining us in chat. Brendan Kennedy, the usual, always hanging out, says, how are we doing this evening? I'm doing fantastic. Hopefully you're doing good as well. Daniel Morris is also here. Big Peepee, that's a good name. Dalit Gamers here. Glad to have you guys on board. Hopefully you guys hanging out in the chat will get involved in chat throughout the night. Always like talking to you guys and seeing what's going on. And we're going to take you through what exactly happened here in Sweden. At the end of the first lap, it is going to be Cochran from Jaden Wilson. They are pretty much nose to tails. They bring it down past the mechanics area. And they're starting to open up a bit of a gap actually on Braden Carter, who has moved up into the third position there on his 125. Jaden Wilson up the inside trying to take the lead from Cochran. Cochran fights back and immediately blows the corner, so Jaden Wilson has taken over the point. It's Jaden Wilson out front. Braden Carter moves into second. Chris Post here in third. Like I said, last week he actually led some of the Belgian Grand Prix First Moto in the MX2 class. So good to see him up here. Logan Leitzel, the winner of the First Moto from Belgium. Also in the mix, you got Luke Sullivan, Samuel Renard, and Ryan Pinkerton being tailed by Dylan Love. Rogan McIntosh also out here on a 125 tonight. Good to see more guys getting after it. And there is Payson Johnson, winner from a week ago. Finding his way into the mix as well. Casper Lind Ostrowski says, is it on PS4? No, this game is PC only available for your personal computer. And if you have a Windows emulator on your Mac, you could also get it on your Mac. But you have to have a Windows emulator. So So back to our race leader, Jaden Wilson. Dropping on into the finish line jump. And my voice is definitely going to be shot from these 6 straight hours basically of streaming. So going to take my time, take some breaks here and there just to not completely lose it. Still coming off the sickness that kept me out last week, so apologies if there's some dead air a little bit. Here's Chris Post. And Leitzel is now reeled in Posty. So the 37 Underground RC machine trying to get up the inside. Funnels into the second rut actually, and then actually slides out a little bit. So Post is able to stretch out the gap, at least for the time being. Oh, I've got plenty of H2O, Dalek Gamer, don't you worry. Been pounding water actually at the end of the broadcast for Belgium. Pretty much had to run and go to the bathroom immediately because I had drinking enough water. Leitzel not able to keep tabs on Post just yet. And Wilson dropping back down in is still leading this race though, 5 minutes in. Got 25 minutes plus 2 laps still to go. And so far, so good for the man on the 260 here. Wilson, Post, Leitzel still the top 3. What's up, Neox Show? Welcome back. And Payson Johnson has now moved his way up into 4th, so Johnson is certainly fighting his way forward. 138.6 last time by. That's getting down towards those qualifying laps. Johnson certainly is looking good early on here. Much different track than we saw earlier today with Lommel. This track is a lot more kind of hard-packed and more just about kind of finding the flow from corner to corner, not so much about momentum, but arcing your corners in, hitting the bumps the right way. Looks like Johnson has already clawed his way up to the back here of this battle. Leitzel has made the move on Chris Post. And now Post is dealing with the attack here from Johnson, who hops over the rut to take the position away from Chris Post. Got kind of dualies over the tabletop right there. So Johnson moves his way up to 3rd. Leitzel a little further up the road now is into 2nd, and they're still trailing Jaden Wilson out front. A lot of time left though, and Leitzel and Johnson have been some of the fastest riders in this 250 class of late. Post there still in 4th. Alec Horn has found his way into the top 5 with Brandon Nygren there in 6th. Carter's slipped back to 7th. Colby Eagland is here in 8th with Austin Irwin in 9th, and Seth Carr rounding out the top 10. There is Cade Matherly on the stance, 195 here, P11. Luke Sullivan on the 11 machine is right behind him in 12th. Ryan Pinkerton in 13th. And finally, our championship leader with those red plates, Cooper Hunt, found his way into the mix. Trying to pass Pinkerton here. Whoa, several riders down. That's Seth Carr. That was Matherly. Cooper Hunt's going to pass 2 of those guys. It was also Colby Eagland that was down. Samuel Renard is in the mix here as well. But definitely Matherly losing that position, and Seth Carr now trying to fend off from his teammate. Oh, Hunt Almost into the side of Carter. Matherly around the outside gets around him. And there is Carter on the 19. You can also see Renard and 24 of Eagland in the mix as well. And Matherly just up the road on the 195, trailing up to Seth Carr. And that's another rider down. That is Nygren on the 50. So to the outside, Hunt goes. He's going to try to get into the mix. Look at this great train of riders right here, though. Carr, Matherly, Nygren, Hunt, and then just behind these guys, another little group forming with Braden Carter at the front of it on his 125. And Colby Eagland on the 24 there, also in the mix. Look at Carter actually going after Hunt. Almost had a nose alongside over the finish line jump, and Hunt goes deep up the inside. Oh, the 11 of Sullivan is down. Carter hits him. He goes down. Eagland gets tagged from behind by Renard and goes down as well. So sliding through there, Jack Gatland, 369 machine, was able to make some passes. But then as we go up again to this freight train of riders, Seth Carr, Matherly, Nygren, and Hunt pretty much nose to tail still. Oh, and Seth Carr goes down. We also have another rider down. That is Austin Irwin on the 212. So Hunt's going to get around both of those riders and try to make the pass on Nygren. Not going to work just yet, though. Nygren holding steady. Hunt up the inside here before the rollers. Oh, and he pushes Nygren to the bitter edge of the racetrack. Nygren sends it into the next corner and goes down. So Cooper Hunt has got all kinds of business going on around him. And Cade Matherly's been able to sneak away a little bit. Ryan Pinkerton is a little further up the road. Then you've got Alec Horn, Logan Leitzel, Chris Post, Jaden Wilson, and new leader, ladies and gentlemen, Payson Johnson, third of the way through MX2 Race 1, has gone to the front. The Underground RC number 351 machine, winner of the second moto, and overall at Lommel, now has moved into P1 here at Uddevalla in Sweden. So Johnson from Wilson, Post, Leitzel, and Horn inside of the top 5. Pinkerton just went down. Hunt and Matherly are going to go by. Let's go on board with Cooper Hunt as he tries to tail Cade Matherly here in the early runnings. See a couple questions in chat coming through. Why is Braden on a 250, not a 450? Basically just decides to race whatever he wants at this point. He's not having a good outdoor season, so... Oh, Cooper Hunt off the side of the track and down. So that will end that attack. See if we can find another battle. Here we go. We got some good stuff happening here. Gatland, Nygren, Carter. Ethan Price asks, does SYS commentate any other games? Well, it depends on what you decide is commentating. In terms of like broadcasting and calling the race action, I currently do not, but I'm in the market for it. I'd like to do some MX bike stuff if the right opportunity comes around. I'm also working on doing a couple things with Supercross 4. It's just a lot of time-consuming stuff I don't have a lot of time for right now. The sim races, there's so many of them, so they take up a lot of my schedule. But still looking. And Delete Gamer says, in these races, do you have to race in first person? No, you do not. Several riders race in third person. I was a third person racer when I was pro from 2012 to 2017. And it worked out all right for me. Won a couple races. Finished fourth in 250 East standings one year. Chris Post, Logan Leitzel, they're still pretty close together. They're still trying to catch Jaden Wilson. And then, oh, Wilson just went down, actually, as I say that. So they're both going to go by. There goes Leitzel, and there goes Post as Wilson remounts. So your early leader, Jaden Wilson, running into some problems here, but he's still right on Post for the third spot here. Chris Post has come alive of late on that 164. He's looking really strong. 8-second lead for Johnson now over his teammate Leitzel. Then this battle here for third, Chris Post and Jaden Wilson. What's up, Jolgan 321? Welcome to the stream. Wilson up the inside. Not able to get a nose just yet on Post. Now Post goes defensive, and Wilson just goes right around the outside of him. Hard charging move there from Jaden Wilson, and a strong one at that. So he moves back into third. Here is Leitzel still in second, and Johnson in the lead. Lap time check for these guys. Johnson 151.4 last time by. He is coming into some struggles here. 135.2 his best. A 140 flat is Leitzel's best, so almost 5 seconds off of Johnson's best, but he has been running better laps than Johnson these last couple of laps and has now closed it down to just 3.8 seconds. What is up, Bill 1264? Welcome to the stream. Leitzel looking at a 4-second deficit, but what's going to benefit him here shortly is that his teammate Payson Johnson out front is catching lap traffic, and a couple riders going down here in this corner, so they're going to get out of the way. Leitzel doing some bike hopping. I think that's his teammate Trevor Burns that he's next to right there. What's up, JK Outdoors? Thanks for being a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of yours because you're a huge fan of mine, good sir. So thank you so much for the support. All right, halfway point of this race. Let's get you guys a top 20 rundown brought to you by the folks at atom.com. Head over to atom.com today. Check out his music, releasing singles every month or so, it seems like at this point, and also has a pretty sweet merch line if you want to support him. That is the man, the myth, the legend, Adam Holm, who has been part of this community for many years and one of the best racers in the game for 4 or 5 years now. So if you want to help support him in his career endeavors, please check atom.com out. That's AYETOM.com, and they bring you this top 20 rundown in MX2 Race 1 from Sweden. Payson Johnson leads on the Underground RC, number 351. His teammate Logan Leitzel on the number 37 runs in second. Jaden Wilson coming through in third. I believe that is still the Covenant program he is a part of on the number 260. Chris Post, a.k.a. the dopest on the 164 machine. He is running in P4 early on. Fifth place right now for Alec Horn on the mobgraphics.com, number 310. Cade Matherly down here in P6 on the Stance, number 195. Then Cooper Hunt here in 7th. Red plate holder on the number 20 Underground RC machine. 8th is Brandon Nygren, the atom.com, number 50. 9th for Luke Sullivan on the Field Ski and Snowboard KTM, number 11. And the 395 of Ryan Pinkerton on the Yogi Designs machine runs in 10th. 11th for Tyler Shields, the Stool Bend, number 777. 217 today, though, it looks like. Seth Carr, Underground RC 347, runs in 12th. 13th for Braden Carter on the 125, the Phil's Ski and Snowboard machine. That is the number 19 effort out there. The 369 of Jack Gavlin on that BPC Yamaha runs in 14th. 15th is Colby Eaglin on the number 24. 16th for Dylan Love on the Proline Designs 174. 17th is Seth Shirley on the number 80 atom.com. And 18th for Trevin Thompson, Cyber Designs, hashtag for the 50 bombs on the 151. 19th for Adrian Wilson, the 759 Yogi Designs effort. And Johan Bordeaux on the 394 motorsport.com. KTM rounds out your top 20. Brought to you by atom.com. All right, got a couple more questions coming through. How do people qualify for this? Bill1264 asks, head over to racefactorygaming.com. They'll provide you guys the information. They also have a Discord. If you guys want to get involved in the community a little bit more, the Discord is great for people to kind of hang out, meet each other, general chat. You can also ask the admin some questions if you're confused about some stuff, open up a support ticket. But also, if you head over to racefactorygaming.com, there's a lot of information there for getting your license, getting signed up for the amateur races if you want to race the amateur races. If you've never raced before, I definitely would recommend trying amateur first. The pro class is way harder than you expect it to be. But yeah, definitely check that out. Tyler Johnson asks, are these races using real terrain deformation? Yes, they are. Well, not real terrain deformation. He said just terrain deformation. Yes, they are using terrain deformation. The track doesn't weather as much as you might think, though. It's not like they go through and the line digs out way deeper. It's pretty much a small quotient that they use. And, I mean, essentially you have 40 riders doing already 12 laps, so you're over, you know, you're into what? That's 480 times that someone has hit a rut, for example. So it definitely digs out, but it's not massive. If they went on for like 2 hours, the ruts would be huge, but they only go for the 30 minutes and then the track resets. Oh, and Leitzel buried in some lap traffic right now as he tries to run down his teammate, Payson Johnson. What other questions we got? This game is PC only for Ethan Price asking. Tyler Johnson says, is Casey Cochran the real pro Casey from Super Mini Class? Yes, it is. Go back and find him. Having a tough time out here right now. Not really going the way he was hoping, I think. The fact is he already called it a moto in this one. Yeah, Casey Cochran out of this one. But that is indeed the factory gas Super Mini rider, Casey Cochran. Beckett Kendall says, why don't you ever make videos on qualifying, like for the Race Factory Gaming stuff? Because the qualifying happens over like a whole day, so I'm not going to sit around all day and stream it and talk about it and stuff like that. If you're talking about the pro qualifying with Kellen videos that I used to do in 2017, well, I'm not a pro anymore. I'm now retired, so not really much point in me going out and doing hot laps and trying to qualify for anything because I don't race in this game anymore. So, yeah. Unfortunately, not really much use in doing that. And, yeah, the qualifying in this game, it just it's too elongated, so there's not much point to do some long video detailing it or anything like that. We talk about it at the beginning of the show. Talk about who is fast and what lap times they put down. Just not a whole video on it. Dalek Gamer asks, hey Kellen, do you ride in real life? I do. Not as much as I like to lately, but I do still ride in real life. Sure, I'll go a little bit more this off season. Oh, Johnson down in the lead. Tucked a front end into the second rut there. Fortunately, he's got enough of a gap to work with here over his teammate Leitzel that it is not going to matter. But that's going to tighten up the battle out front a little bit more. What is the closest game to this for Xbox? I mean, unfortunately, kind of probably only the Supercross MXGP games. You know, MX's ATV, it's a good game, but it's more arcadish than those two games are. There is not an MX Simulator or MX Bikes available for Xbox or PlayStation. Those are PC-only games. So, yeah. Shout out Brevin Starner. Thanks for tuning in. And Beckett Kendall, 150, 250, or 450. I have a 250. It's a two-stroke, 2002 CR250 that we bought. Kind of fixed up a little bit, so it's just a fun play bike. I did have a 2021 Husqvarna FC250 that Chris Kiefer, I work at Racer X, so Chris Kiefer, he also works at Racer X. He let me lend for the year, but I just gave that back recently. So yeah, just ride the old two smoke. I enjoy it. I don't feel like I need a new aged bike to go have fun or anything like that. I'm not that fast. I used to be fairly decent, but went to college, barely rode, and now in my new career, honestly, I don't get to ride that much either, so just the way it is. Oh, Leitzel is hopping the ruts, and he's going to go outside of that rut there, lose a lot of time. Jaden Wilson's not closed up on him, but Chris Post is still pretty close. Oh, and Cooper Hunt who had just gotten his way up inside of the top 5, goes down. So that is Alec Horn and Luke Sullivan going by right there. I think that is the only 2 positions he lost. Yeah, Alec Horn and Sullivan going by there. Yeah, honestly, the Quidden racing MX Sim for me was really just down to a time thing. I did not have the time to commit to the game anymore. I think if I could sit down and put like a good month into it, I could get back to a level where I could at least race pro. I don't know about score points or anything like that, but it's just very time consuming, honestly, and time is something I don't have a lot of these days. Back to our race leader though, coming up on 24 minutes. And in this 30-minute plus 2-lap race, Payson Johnson is making it look pretty darn easy out front. Yamaha, Cobra, Kawasaki, Honda, GasGas. Just skipping right over KTM, Suzuki, and Husqvarna. If you're asking what my bike is, it's a Honda. Payson Johnson's reading those 2 riders down in that corner like a book and hopping over. But hey, things are tightening up out front. Just 5.4 seconds in it. Leitzel trying to make this thing interesting down the stretch. Leitzel scrubs it down, trying to get that power down. 3.7 seconds down to now. Johnson having to navigate through these lapped riders has certainly slowed it down just a little bit. So can Leitzel make this a bit of a race? Oh, and just as I say that, pushes over the berm here at the top of the hill and goes down, gets on just as Seth Shirley's coming in, but Seth Shirley is a lap down. This is the next man coming through, Jaden Wilson. So he's definitely closer now to Leitzel, but still not that close. Chris Post, Alec Horn, Luke Sullivan, Cooper Hunt. Not the best of motos there for Cooper Hunt. Needs to minimize the damage at all costs against what Payson Johnson's throwing on the board. You can see Hunt is trying to lap Hubbard on the 778 here. Hubbard is down in 25th. And Sullivan just up the road. They're on the 11. Got Alec Horn a little further up the road from that. Excuse me. And it's kind of all separated at the front once again. So this is Payson Johnson's race to manage after that mistake from Leitzel. He's still got these close fights back here. We'll go on board with Hunt because he's only 1.6 back of Sullivan. Whoa, and as I say that, almost lays it down. Gonna do what he can here to close up on and Phil's KTM ride of Luke Sullivan up ahead of him. Was another rider down? Was that Post? No, it was not. It was a, is that maybe Bordeaux separating these guys? Hunt. Oh, Hunt! Now he goes down. That's going to allow Matherly to go by, so Cade Matherly gains a position. These guys all head up the hill here. We're closing up on just 2 minutes now, and 2 laps still to go. There is Johnson and Leitzel. Leitzel is 14 seconds behind. So as mentioned, this is Johnson's race to control here, but the lap traffic is still something to discuss, I feel like, because it's a shorter lap time. These guys putting it in the 139s, 140 range. So they're going to hit more lappers, as there's only so many places they can go on this track, really. Johnson going to come down, and this time through, 3 to go. Only has about 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock, as he absolutely tosses a filthy whip over the finish line jump. But no way he lays down a 110 here on this lap. So time will expire this time through, and he will get that 2-lap board coming up. Johnson lays it into that inside right. You can see he's still pushing. He knows that any little mistake here is going to cost him a lot. Like that almost gets taken down as he made a mistake and cross jump behind, I think that was Will Clark. It doesn't seem like he lost much time. Oh, launches the wall out to the roller. Ends up doubling that, essentially. That was huge. And now is behind Nygren, putting Nygren a lap down. Dang, Payson Johnson not messing around. Gonna put Ryan Pinkerton a lap down, but tell you what, the couple of mistakes that he's had has put him in danger here. If he has another fall-off crash, it's not going to be too big of a gap. He would still maintain the lead at the moment, but it'd be very close. So he has got to try to rein it in a little bit. 2-lap board is out, though. Time has expired, and Johnson is looking at 2 to go here. So it's Johnson from his teammate Leitzel. Jaden Wilson still occupies 3rd, Post, Sullivan, and Horn. And then Cooper Hunt navigating some downed riders there. Matherly is right behind him still. Oh, and Matherly now right there on Cooper Hunt. A couple of riders getting involved here that are a lap down. Braden Carter is also in this group, so he was battling with these guys like 15 minutes ago, but now he's a lap down, dealing with them going around him and trying not to get in the way. Matherly swings to the 2nd rut there, launches his way back up the hill. Seems like Cooper Hunt has picked up the pace just a little bit and has been able to stretch it back out. I don't believe they actually get posted anywhere, Zach. But I'm pretty sure if you ask Jeremy Cohenauer, I'm sure he'll send you them. I mean, I wouldn't say everybody ask him, as Hunt goes off the track and Matherly takes advantage. So these 2 riders swapping positions, and Carter is still right there. Now Matherly reads a lapped rider wrong, and Cooper Hunt takes advantage. Matherly charging back to the outside, though. Oh, crossing lines with Hunt and Carter. Not in this battle, but getting into the mix. And Matherly does not want to let your points leader go. Both them check up on the wall and continue on. White flag is waving for Johnson out front, but this battle is continuing to rage on. Matherly has been relentless in his attack of Cooper Hunt. And there it is. Matherly up the inside, gets around the 20. And now Hunt has to respond. Little mistake for the 20, and that allows Matherly to extend it even more. We'll get back to this battle in a moment. Check in with our leader, Payson Johnson here. He's only got about 3 corners left to go, and this race will be his. Couple corners left, and a pretty dominating one in the end for Johnson, who took the lead pretty early on before the 10-minute mark and has held it ever since. A couple mistakes in the mix, but Payson Johnson takes MX2 Race 1 here in Sweden. Looks like 22nd was 2 laps down, so curious how many riders he ended up lapping up to in this one. But Leitzel hopping into the final corner, lays it sideways, but that's not going to cost him second. He is still going to be A-OK there as he crosses in P2. Jaden Wilson comes through. He will pick up third in this one, and Chris Post still has Luke Sullivan lurking back here. Alec Horn, and then Matherly and Hunt. They are still going at it. Hunt has gotten back through, but it is not over yet. Matherly is trying to get a nose in there. Little mistake for the 20. These points are critical in what has been a very tight championship fight to this point. Hunt going to try to hold on for 2 more corners. Kind of pushes out a little bit, but will settle back in. Matherly going to give it one last-ditch effort here into the final corner, but it is going to be Cooper Hunt holding on for 7th, Matherly 8th, Pinkerton was 9th, Tyler Shields 10th, Seth Carr 11th, Brandon Igren 12th, 13th for Seth Shirley, 14th for Jack Gatlin, Colby Eaglin was 15th, 16th for Dylan Love, 17th for Trevin Thompson, 18th, Noah McLaughlin, 19th for Carter, and Cody Cooper rounded out our points-paying positions. We'll wait to see cuts. If they affected anything. Ooh, yeah, Matherly does get back around Hunt for 7th. So that's critical. Johnson, your winner here in MX2 Race 1. All right, we are going to get a track reset going real quick. Then we'll jump into 450 Moto 1, a.k.a. MXGP Race 1, coming up here in just a second. There we go. And let's load us up. MXGP Race 1. All right, so for the time being, back in studio, Kellen Brower bringing you guys the action. Good to see you guys all hanging out, having a good time in chat. A lot of you guys here from Australia, some people from Utah, Florida, and wow, 4:57 a.m. in Denmark. Casper Lind Ostrowski committed. I like it, though. Had you guys asking about my bike, though, and I'll show you it real quick. So that is my CR 252 stroke. So spiffy. Oh, very nice. What's up, Ethan? Thanks, buddy. 2 p.m. in New Zealand. Gary Turden. Got to stay hydrated. All right, waiting to load in here for MXGP Race 1. Glad to see you guys are all getting involved in chat, too. Hampus Israelson says, hello from Sweden. Well, hello from the United States, good sir. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Hope you're having a good time. All right, here we go. Let's get us back in here. Get the moto timer going. And let's drop the gate again here in Sweden. MXGP Race 1 coming up, 30 minutes plus 2 laps. Leclerc, Holm, Lang, and the rest of them off and running in Uddevalla. Gonna be a Cowie leading him in. Not gonna hold it though. Tyron Tomic picks up the Race Tech Hole Shot Award. Rider out of Australia on the CV number 23 out front. It was Castellaneta who got to the corner first, but he did not hold it. Instead, Tyler Lang has moved into second. Castellaneta's there in third. You also have the 13 of Magnetti. I don't see Leclerc. I wonder if he went down. Oh, and Lang down. Just to give us an indication, is Leclerc going to go by? I still have not seen the number 1 machine go through. And Lang remounts, still ahead of wherever Leclerc is. So that is huge. Not sure what has gone on with the Frenchman, but it is Tomic leading the way from Magnetti. Tomic, Magnetti, Castellaneta, Blakely, Janis, the early top 5 in MXGP Race 1 here. The 450 class, in essence. I knew it'd make you guys happy to see the countryman, Tyron Tomic, out front. Magnetti is giving him fits from behind, though, and this is going to be a good battle. Two guys that have been pretty close in speed of late. Dualies over the table at the top of the hill. Not quite side by side, but I'll give it to him. Kind of flicked out the exact same way, and Tomic hopping the ruts on the inside there, but maintains the race lead. Over the finish line jump to complete lap 1, down past the mechanics area. Tomic with Magnetti on the 13 right behind him. And Leclerc must have been really destroyed early on because there's only 27 riders actually in this race, and Leclerc wasn't even in the top 20 early on. So let's see where he ends up after the first lap. Tomic leads, though, with the pressure from behind coming out of Luke Magnetti. And Magnetti is not letting the Australian go, and now he's going to pull up alongside. Does Tomic hold it steady up the inside here? He's going to cut across a couple lines and go defensive and put Magnetti on the ground. Magnetti ran out of room to run out there and got put off the side of the track. That allows Blakely into second now, Janis to third, and Castellaneta has slipped back to fourth. Caleb Hall now up to fifth, and Magnetti remounts in sixth behind him. There is the number 2 machine of Adam Holm, the 2019 world champ, and Magnetti gets into the side of Hall, goes down, and that allows Adam Holm up into sixth. So as they drop down off the top of the hill, Holm is applying that pressure there to Caleb Hall. Three-rider battle. Magnetti goes wide in the background. And Holm trying to work on a pass here. Get around Hall. Blakely has tossed away second place. Castellaneta and Janis both improve a position, but it is all Tyron Tomic out front. He has got a 4-second lead to work with. Back to Janis. Janis and then his teammate Castellaneta. Got to keep an eye out for Lang. Where is Tyler Lang? Where is Alexis Leclerc? They are 1 and 2 in this championship. Leclerc, the reigning world champion, 4-time Race Factor Gaming national champion, and now the winningest motocross rider of all time in MX Simulator history. Actually stamped that off a couple weeks ago. Holm has now moved up to 5th around Hall, with Magnetti going around the outside of Hall as well, so he's going to make that pass. Then you've got Jeremy Cohenauer with Lang. Brendan King also in the mix. Lands sideways and goes down. The 40 of Brett Powers hits him, a.k.a. Donut MX. So good to see Donut out here crushing the motos on a 250F, or maybe he's on a 350, but this is where Leclerc is. He's now up to 11th, a 45.5, his first official timed lap. And Leclerc definitely has his work cut out for him, but this is not a task that he shies away from ever. We've seen Leclerc win motos from pretty much the back of the field before. We'll see if he can pull off another little bit of magic here today at Uddevalla in Sweden, working on the 333 of Jeffrey Bruns, just ahead of him in P10. Oh, Bruns a mistake. And Leclerc, trying to avoid hitting the number 333 machine, goes by and into 10th. Next on his list would be Lang, but Lang is trying to go around the 15 at Cohen hour all the while, and he does so with relative ease. A little better line selection there paid off. So Lang up into 8th. Ahead of him is his teammate Caleb Hall. And Hall has still got his eyes on Magnetti. Magnetti, though, has closed back up to Adam Holm. And this is a fight for 4th place, I believe. Magnetti had a line there, but, excuse me, pushed off the track. So Holm, riding defensively, manages to keep Magnetti behind. They are running down Castaneda ahead of them, then Blakely and Janis. So, excuse me, that battle is actually for 5th. Janis still occupies 2nd. It is Tomic out front, though. Coming up on 7 minutes into this 30-minute plus 2 lap MXGP race number 1. That's Sweden. Back to the battle for 2nd. Janis and Blakely. Ooh. Getting on the rear tire there was Janis. Blakely may have seen that ahead of him and noted it as a potential weak spot there next time by if he's close. Get on the gas hard off the finish line jump and maybe sneak up the inside into the chicane. Blakely launching out to flat there. Not too far behind these guys is Castaneda. Then that Holm Magnetti battle still raging. These guys are essentially all nose to tail. There's a bit of a gap between Blakely and Castaneda, about 2.5 seconds. And actually, as I say that, Castaneda goes down and Magnetti takes advantage of the open door left by Adam Holm to go around and into 4th place. So Holm literally didn't even change positions. He was in 5th pretty much that entire sequence. And now remains 5th, has to go back after Magnetti. Magnetti, meanwhile, is going to put his eyes onto his teammate Blakely up the road. And Blakely is still trying to work on the 130 of Janis. It actually seems like they're maybe catching Tomic. Yeah, Ethan Price says, is it harder to kickstart an older model of a 252 stroke compared to 2021 250 4-stroke? I haven't actually kicked a Suzuki 252 4-stroke of this era, but pretty much most 250s nowadays have electric starts, so they're significantly easier to start than an old 2-stroke. But 2-strokes are still pretty easy to start. Honestly, 4-strokes, it's always just a bit if they're hot. It doesn't seem like it's that difficult to kickstart a Suzuki, though. It has to be pretty hot to do it. But yeah, most modern 250 4-strokes have electric start, and those are super easy. Blakely inside, pulls up alongside Janis. In a battle for 2nd place, Janis goes back inside, and they get together, and Tomic is down too. That's all 3 of your race leaders down together. That puts Magnetti back to the front. Holm gets into the back of Janis, and now Tyler Lang is in the mix on the 4. Wow, all 3 riders down in the same corner. promotes Luke Magnetti to the lead. And I hate to tell it to these guys, but just 9 seconds off the lead now in 7th is Alexis Leclerc. Wow. So, Magnetti to the front, Tomic back to 2nd, Holm goes to 3rd, Blakely 4th, Lang 5th, Janis 6th, and then coming into view behind these guys now is Leclerc in 7th. So this race got very interesting in a hurry. Tomic, I don't know how he went down by himself, but then you saw how that battle unfolded in what was essentially the battle for what would have been the race lead at that point. There between Blakely and Janis, the lines just coming together. Unfortunate interaction there, but it allows Tyler Lang into the mix. Adam Holm also now up here on the 2. Tomic, who was leading, settles back into 2nd. And Magnetti out front, I mean, there's almost nothing in it. There is Magnetti, there's Tomic, there's Holm, there's Blakely, Lang, and Janis, and then Leclerc. So pretty much your top 7 are separated by that margin right there. Not too much in it. And already it seems like Tomic coming back after Magnetti for the race lead. Magnetti trying to hold on as the pressure mounts. But this is one of those situations where it's hard to react. And now Tomic pounces on the opportunity after a mistake from Magnetti. He pushed the front end over a rut, and Tyron Tomic wasted little time to jump into the race lead once again. So it's now Tomic from Magnetti instead of the other way around. And boy, oh boy, this still has the makings of quite an interesting race throughout the mid part of this one, with Tomic, Magnetti, their nose to tail. Blakely has Janis right behind him. We've lost Lang, we've lost Holm, and Leclerc is up into 5th. Lang has drifted back to 6th. Holm is behind him in 7th, so our leaders are all still pretty tightly knit here, but Leclerc, obviously the big benefactor in all of this chaos, has gone from well outside the top 20 on the first lap to 5th before we're even at the halfway point. Delit Gamer asks, what is the 11th round of Race Factory Gaming Grand Prix? That's going to be next Monday. It'll be the Grand Prix of Portugal from Uddevalla. So join us on August 30th at 5:30 p.m. Pacific to catch that action, where we may just crown this man here, Leclerc, as a champ. Of course, you're watching round 9 right now. Round 10 in Germany already happened earlier this week. This is a recast of what happened a week ago in Sweden. And then these guys will wrap up their championship on September 6th in Argentina at Neuquén, in a 12-round series for the GPs. And Leclerc definitely closing up on these guys. Battle for the lead is still raging. Tomic and Magnetti, still almost nothing in it between these two. Terrific ride from Tyron Tomic so far. Just got to be wary that Leclerc is still back here, and boy, is he make quick work of guys sometimes. He can make passes before you even realize he's there. Look back through the top 10 real quick. Oh, Magnetti to the front as he gets around Tomic. Now the 23 machine has to fight back. And back and forth we go here in Sweden. Tomic actually losing a little bit of ground on Magnetti, so he is coming into some problems as he swaps out, coming into the rollers right there. RJ Eli asks, what is the next series we'll be streaming? We'll be streaming tomorrow, probably at around 2 p.m. Pacific, round 9 of the Race Factory Gaming National Championship. Recast of the Budds Creek National, which happened last Wednesday, as Magnetti goes down and Tomic goes back to the front. But we will be back to full live official broadcasting action tomorrow night, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, for the Ironman National, which will be round 10 of that series. Tomic back to the front at halfway. Blakely has all kinds of pressure here from Janis for third, and Leclerc is there. Oh, Blakely slides out. So Leclerc goes by. Blakely going to get it turned around just before Adam Holm comes into view. Oh, Leclerc actually, he makes a mistake, slides out, has to cut across the track right there. That'll cost him some time, and oh, is that Tomic? That was, Tyron Tomic was down. So Tomic, who had gone to the lead, now falls back behind Leclerc. Leclerc goes up to third, Janis now into second, and Magnetti back into the race lead again. Musical chairs at the front of the field here in MXGP Race 1 from Sweden. Now Janis, so tough in this situation because you want to put all your focus on Blakely ahead. You want to charge forward, not think about what's coming behind you, but you're going to start hearing that deep fifth gear style revving of Alexis Leclerc. He is always in a high gear. Look at this, fifth, and then gets into the corner all the way back down to second, and then lands hard, gets right back up into fifth gear. He just lets the engine kind of wind out all the way. So is it a matter of time for Leclerc at this point before he finds his way into the race lead, or will these riders out front put up too much of a fight for him to manage? So far, he has been very methodical. He hasn't actually made too many straight-up passes. He's kind of waited for the mistakes, and the mistakes have come. Battle for the lead is brewing here in Sweden. Magnetti leads from Janis and Leclerc. Three riders nose to tail, less than a second in it. What is going to break first? Janis up the inside, Leclerc to the outside, trying to get that power down. Turn to the inside in the next corner. Janis goes defensive, and that is going to keep Leclerc behind him for the time being. Leclerc could not get that tabletop up the inside. Magnetti is fending off the pressure well, but he just made a small mistake, and Janis gonna sense an opportunity to the outside. Leclerc funnels in, now follows to the outside, and they all stay status quo for the time being. Magnetti tries to scrub up the inside before the finish line jump, and it is getting tight. Leclerc charges to the outside, might turn into a pass here on Janis, but Janis, defensive riding inside to outside, keeps Leclerc behind. Now Leclerc hard on the brakes up the inside into the chicane, doesn't work, and actually has to hop through the chicane. So Janis, lap traffic really coming into play here as Magnetti finally slices his way through those guys, and Leclerc cuts back underneath to get around Janis in a second. That's big right there for Leclerc. Oh, but then he almost lands on a lapped rider, and now Janis back up the inside. Not over yet as Janis gets into Leclerc, and Leclerc slides out. Tomic going to go back by. Here comes Blakely to the outside. Not quite able to make the pass just yet, but it is a whole lot more interesting at the front now suddenly. with Tomic, Blakely, they're coming into play. And the crashing with the lapped riders becoming a bit of a factor here. Still only 6 seconds separate your top 5. Adam Holm, Tyler Lang, they have completely lost touch with this group, unfortunately. So Leclerc not only sensing the opportunity for a race win, but also a lot of points potentially gained because he's got so many riders in the midst here to help pull points away from Tyler Lang and towards Leclerc in this scenario. They're still all chasing Luke Magnetti, who has seemingly gone back and forth with the lead. Now occupies it here, 20 minutes in, 10 minutes and 2 laps still to go. Casper Lind in chat says, what can they win if they win the championship? The prizing right now, I believe, is actually just they win this currency called Nobbies, which helps them purchase more licenses and other things on racefactorgaming.com. So it gives them a way to more or less race the series for free for the next 4 or 5 years, pretty much, I think, if they win. So, but back in the day, we actually used to have a slew of really pretty cool prizes. I think in 2013 or 14 was when we had peak prizes. The winner of the Race Factor Gaming National Championship won a full plastics included decal kit for their bike, custom made with their number, all that stuff like that. The rider that finished second won head-to-toe fly racing gear. Yeah, prizing was a little bit better back in the day. It's kind of trailed off now, but there is still some cash prizes available. Some riders get paid for their positioning, but there's also a lot of bragging rights. It's very tough to be the best rider in this game. I finished second in an Arena Cross series actually in 2012 and got a $100 EBS gift card, which I used to buy a neck brace. Oh, Janice goes down. And Leclerc is going to go back by into second. Janice is going to remount just as Blakely gets there. But Tomic was not quite able to get there in time. So Janice now fourth, Blakely up to third. Leclerc obviously moves into second. And then that begs the question, what is Magnetti going to do in response now that Leclerc has moved up there? 139.9 versus a 138.3. Lap times are close. Let's get you guys a quick top 20 rundown brought to you by R Jerky. Head over to eatrjerky.com. That's EATRJERKY.com. And use the code SYS20. That's SYS20 for 20% off your order. They got some really, really just great quality, good flavors with their beef jerky line over there. So I know you guys all watching the stream, you guys like snacks. You guys probably hang out at the computer from time to time and put down a snack or two and play your video games like I do. I'm the same way, so always nice to have a bag of beef jerky to sit on your desk and munch on. And you can use that code SYS20 for 20% off your order. So head over to eatrjerky.com. Luke Magnetti leads the race here late in MXGP Race 1 in Sweden for the BPC effort. Blakely powder coating on the number 13 machine. Second place for Alexis Leclerc on the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna Factory Racing ride, the number 1 machine. Matthias Janis, the Underground RC number 130, runs in third. Tyron Tomic for CV on the number 23 is in fourth. Chase Blakely, the BPC ride, and the owner of that team also is in fifth. Tyler Lang on the Underground RC number 4 machine sits in sixth. The number 2 2019 world champ of Adam Holm on the atom.com machine sits in seventh. Eighth for Caleb Hall on the Underground RC number 45. Ninth for Brady Castaneda, Underground RC number 12. And 10th is Brett Powers, the General Insurance Wildside, number 40, a.k.a. Donut MX. He's crushing it out here. Jeremy Cohenauer runs in 11th on the MV Films number 15. It's 12th for Neil Fitzpatrick on the Pro Line Designs number 71. 13th is Jeffrey Bruns on the atom.com number 333. 14th for Brendan King on the SYS Racing HK Heckman Productions number 234. Is this 15th now? Austin Bear off the side of the track as he lets Janice go by on the Phil's KTM number 64. 16th for Jet Wisdom on the BPC number 99. 17th is Aaron Rockefeller, the Underground RC number 65. 18th for Caden Speck on the number 39 Phil's ski and snowboard ride. 19th for Jonathan Alexander, his teammate, on the number 53. And 20th is Lawson Dye on the Stance 178. Back out front, Luke Magnetti continues to lead the race here. 5 minutes left. And Leclerc is lurking. Lap time check. 138.9 for Leclerc. 139.3 for Magnetti. So about 4/10 in it. We'll get an update this time through what they're able to put down. Leclerc is inching closer, but question begs is he going to catch him enough to maybe get there before time expires? So 38.5 this time through for Leclerc, a 39.2. Magnetti ups his pace a little bit, runs his best lap of the race, or at least matches it, I believe. But that right there is 7/10 gained on that lap alone for Leclerc. And these are shorter lap times, so they're going to get more laps in as the time continues to wind down. I think we're probably looking at 5, maybe 6 laps still to go. And you talk about a little bit of quick maths, 7/10 over 5 laps turns into 3.5 seconds in a hurry. And hey, look at what we got right here. It's about 3.5 second race lead. So Leclerc, as he gets cross-jumped a little bit, that was a little dicey. Nice job to land hard on the brakes and not get caught up in that, though. Oh, Magnetti was down! Magnetti has gone down. He's tossed away the race lead and potentially the race victory. Heartbreak for the number 13. Another little mistake as he regroups. And now Leclerc, who came from outside of the top 20 at the end of the first lap of the race, has now moved into the race lead. Oh, little mistake right there, though. Almost laid it down. And Magnetti is still close enough that if Leclerc has another off, Magnetti will go back into the race lead. So Leclerc himself has to kind of button it up a little bit. Try to put in smooth and consistent laps down to just 3 minutes and 2 laps left to go here in MXGP Race 1. Magnetti slips back to second. He still has a little bit of time on Janis, who's third. Blakely fourth, and Tomic right behind him in fifth. So this is turned into a good little battle for the 4 spot. These guys are about 20 seconds off the lead. And still not too far back of them, I guess, is about 11 seconds down Lang, who's trying to limit the damage now with Leclerc out front. Tomic got his sights set on Blakely. A little bit of sideways jump off the track, pulls it back together just in time to miss that tough block and continue on, so actually didn't lose too much time. Blakely rips that inside rut well, but Tomic pretty much charges right back up onto him in the next corner, so it's a bit of a yo-yo effect here between these two as they battle it out for fourth, and Tomic up the inside, going to try to maybe do the same thing he did to Magnetti earlier. Doesn't quite work. He holds on far outside, maybe turns to the inside here, not quite. Blakely crosses over once again, though, on the wall jump. What's up, Andrea Finley? I love you too, buddy. Thanks so much for tuning in. No need to spam hi. I got you, buddy. Don't make me suspend you from the chat. Oh, Tomic! Oh. Got sideways right there. Nice job to save it. And this battle just still continues to rage on. Blakely dealing with the attack from Tomic, but now another mistake there where the 23 machine gets a little wayward through the chicane. Now loses a bit of touch there with Blakely. I appreciate that, Custom Off-Road. As you are a big fan of mine, I'm a big fan of yours. because I very much appreciate that support. Seriously, still awesome to me, even after all these years. I know sometimes people tend to look at like a sub number and they think like, oh, he's big and doesn't ever talk to people. I will talk to every single person that reaches out to me as best as I can. It's always great to have the support, and it's been very humbling over the years to see how much you guys have enjoyed the content that we produce. So seriously, I very much appreciate that you're into what we produce. Was that Magnetti down? Yes, it was. Magnetti went down. Oh, no. Coming unglued a little bit here because Janice just went by for second. So Janice through Leclerc has a pretty good margin out front, and time has expired, which means the two-lap car just went out. Leclerc just crossed the finish line, jump a couple turns back. Janice still lurking back here in case things get a little bit dicey with Leclerc out front. Fortunately for the Frenchman in the lead, he doesn't have too much lap traffic to deal with. Maybe going to hit that group of 5 riders and another one before the race is over. But as you see, he's about to come up on one now who just went down. He's going to rejoin the track after Leclerc goes by, so no problem there. .2 second lead for the 2020 MXGP World Champion. What is up, Aiden? How are you, buddy? And I appreciate that, Andrea. It says he has been watching our YouTube channel since it started. December 30th, 2014, our first ever upload. So seriously, I very much appreciate that, and glad to see you still tuning in and enjoying the show. All right, white flag about to be waving for your race leader Leclerc. As he hops down in behind a group of lapped riders here. There it is. The white flag is out. 1 lap to go here in Sweden. Magnetti is still there lurking on Janice just in case, and has actually closed this thing down a little bit more. Lap time check for him, 42.1 versus a 43 flat, so there it is. That was 9/10 gained on that last lap alone, and the gap is just over a second, so this is going to come down to who wants this second place the most. They have time behind them. It's 13 seconds back to Tomic, so there's some wiggle room to give there. You can almost send it with the expectation that if you crash going for the second place in the race, you still will end up at least third. Magnetti made a couple mistakes though. Still just a second in it though. You can see Janice working hard ahead of him, trying not to let Magnetti get too close, because then the door of opportunity is open for Magnetti to potentially like dive bomb up the inside into a corner. It's about a half a second now. Only have a few turns left, so where will Magnetti potentially size up the opportunity? Meanwhile, final corner coming up, and from outside of the top 20 on the first lap to the top of the standings at the end of it, Alexis Leclerc takes race 1 here at the Grand Prix of Sweden. Janice charging to the flag, shorts the table a little bit. That's going to allow Magnetti to close up just a bit. Sends it in, but just falls short. It's going to be Janice from Magnetti, second to third, as Tomic going to try to bring it home in fourth. Oh, Tyler Lang got close. He actually got around Blakely. To the flag, Tomic, P4, Lang 5th, Blakely 6th. Could come down to penalties there, though. Those gaps are close enough as Adam Holm will stamp his name through in 7th, and Braden Castaneda is the last rider on the lead lap in 8th. First rider a lap down, Brett Powers. Donut MX ends up in 9th in this one. Caleb Hall was 10th, 11th for Jeremy Cohenauer, 12th for Neil Fitzpatrick, 13th for Jeffrey Bruns. 14th still finishing it up here, Brendan King, just ahead of Austin Bear, Jonathan Alexander, Jet Wisdom. These guys are pretty much nose to tail coming in. Any changing in the last corner? No siree, it'll stay the same. So 17th there for Wisdom. 18th will be Aaron Rockefeller. And 19th, 2 laps down, was Lawson Dye. And Chase Donovan last of the points paying positions. We'll wait for a couple more runners to finish off before we get cuts here. Answer some quick questions. Scrub Lord 420 says, hey, SYS, how many rounds are in the MX Simulator Grand Prix Championship? There are 12. This is round 9. Round 10 has already happened as well. So if you want to watch the broadcast of that happened last night from Germany. So you guys could go check that out as well, or sit around and enjoy the live broadcast that we're doing here from Sweden. Then next week will be Portugal, and the final round 2 weeks from now will be Argentina. All right, cuts are in. Let's take a look. Looks like Austin Bear got around Brendan King for 14th. And wow, Magnetti got Janice on cuts for 2nd, but Leclerc takes the win in MXGP race number 1. All right, let's get a track reset here and get ready to go for MX2 race 2, where Payson Johnson gonna try to sweep the motos here today in an effort to potentially get back into the championship lead. Round 9, MX2 race 2, and we'll get ready to go racing here in just a moment. Back here live in studio, though, Kellen Brower bringing you guys the action tonight from Sweden. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the coverage so far. We still got 2 more races left to get through. That'll be MX2 race 2 and MXGP race 2. And we'll crown some overall winners and figure out who left this round happy or unhappy. And if you're just joining us, this is the recast of the Swedish Grand Prix, which happened 8 days ago now. So that would have been, what, August 16th? So last Monday, not this Monday, but the Monday before it. And just missed a couple rounds, was sick, still kind of have a bit of a cough and some sniffles. So trying to get over it, but trying to get these broadcasts taken care of for you guys. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Sync Envy says MX bikes for the win. We still we crank out MX bikes. We do a lot. SYS racing team, we got 9 riders or something on that team now, so we're involved there. And I think it's only a matter of time before these types of streams that I do here become MX bike streams, but we'll see. Yeah, the Ken Roxon wallpaper, I love it. It's taken by one of my really good buddies, Todd Gutierrez. Washougal 2013. I just love the mist in the trees, and Roxon always has good styles, so it's one of my favorite photos he's ever taken. On the other monitor that I have is a picture that he took at the same round of Marvin Muscan, with, again, similar vibe, misty trees in the background, but it's just Marvin kind of scrubbing off of a little single jump. So I love Todd's photo work. He worked in the motocross industry for a lot of years. Now he's a photographer for Monster Energy in esports, so he covers a lot of stuff there. But definitely check him out, toddgutierrezphoto.com or TG_photo, I think it is, on Instagram. Or actually, it might be Todd Gutierrez Photo on Instagram, but he does some cool stuff. I appreciate it, Carl. Says, still think it's mad you're going to do all of these streams in 3 days. Can't thank you enough. I mean, I can't thank you guys enough for all the support over the years, honestly. It's the least I could do to repay the sim community, to everything they've been able to do for my life, my career, to just come back and keep broadcasting these races. I have a lot of fun calling these races, so it's fun for me. Good to always be involved with the community and show my appreciation for you guys. But seriously, I enjoy it. So yeah. I'll answer a couple of those questions real quick after we get this race underway. Let's go ahead. We got 250 Moto 2 ready. Get the Moto timer up. And let's drop the gate. MX2 Race 2 ready to go here in Sweden. Let's crown an overall winner here tonight at Uddevalla. 30 card goes sideways. The revs go up. And the gate is down in Sweden. Hunt from the middle. Going to try to rip a hole shot this time. Has a better start, but he's going to get swarmed. A couple guys up the inside. 80 of Seth Shirley and Braden Carter side by side, but it's Shirley who rips the Race Tech hole shot this time. Johan Bordeaux, a much better start this time around, and Hunt is also right up there in third. And man, tight-knit group early on. Haunted Wolf says they should hire you when you stream these. Who's they? Because technically speaking, Race Factory Gaming does hire me to do these. So yeah, any other companies looking for a broadcaster in the bikes world, reach out to me. I do know I have a couple DMs from one of you guys in Discord, so I'll reach out back to you guys. Sorry, it's been a bit of a hectic couple of days here, so I haven't quite got back to those, but I will. And Scapin Production says, I just want to do a quick shout out to my dog Joko. So shout out Joko. And Custom Off Road says, how do you commentate? I can't even commentate my own games when I play. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a fair question. Quite honestly, I always wanted to go in broadcasting. The end goal for me, like I would die happy basically, is if I ended up being able to do TV broadcasting for Supercross or Motocross. When I was like 6-7 years old, and I used to play video games, like thinking back to, you know, playing MX Superfly or, you know, MX 2002 featuring Ricky Carmichael. I would literally sit in front of the TV and call the race like I was Art Ekman or something like that. So I've always had kind of like an instinct or a knack for doing it. And then I started a YouTube channel, and if you listen to some of my first videos that I ever made on YouTube, they were kind of janky, I'll admit. You know, like mic quality wasn't great. I sounded not very confident about my speaking abilities or anything like that, but you slowly learn, you slowly get used to it, and get comfortable speaking to an audience or speaking to anybody that's outside of just you. So it's a learned thing, but it's one of those things that I have a passion for, I guess, so it makes it a little bit easier, I guess, to be you know, more focused on it, I would say. But I appreciate the question. Cooper Hunt closing up here on Seth Shirley in a battle for the lead in MX2 Race 2. Scrub Lord says, with the motos, does it go 2 laps in 30 minutes or 30 minutes then 2 laps? It goes 30 minutes and then 2 laps. So that countdown timer in the upper right-hand corner of your guys' screen right now, as soon as that time is out, the 2-lap board will be displayed for your race leader in this race. All right, RJ, have a good night, buddy. Sorry you can't hang out much longer. Yeah, MX Bikes, like I said, you know, I'm feeling out some opportunities to commentate some races in MX Bikes. I still feel like game-wise it has a little ways to go for it to be kind of this level for ease of access when it comes to streaming, but yeah, I want to do it. Escaping Productions, do you get drug tested for these races by any chance? No. Performance enhancing drug wise, I don't think there's really much you could, take that would help you in this game. I guess, I don't know, maybe something to, help ADHD or something like that, but why would they try to take someone away that needs something that helps with that? And then, yeah, gamers are gamers. I think that there's, they partake in some drugs sometimes, so no, there's no drug testing for Race Factory Gaming Racing. All right, let's sort it out here. Things have kind of opened up in the early runnings. It is Still Shirley from Hunt, and then Eaglin has moved into third. Johnson is up to fourth. Carter on a 250F this time is in P5. Seth Carr runs in sixth with Johan Bordeaux sliding back to seventh. Trevor Burns finds his way up into eighth. Noah McLaughlin here in ninth. Tyler Blowers rounds out the top 10, but he's got Elliot Ringstrom right behind him. Logan Leitzel, Cody Cooper, they're all back here as well. So you got some names of some fresh faces up here, a little bit mixed in. Tyler Blowers, Elliot Ringstrom, good to see a couple guys up here you don't normally see. McLaughlin, he's off to a good start. Bordeaux turned it around a little bit this time as well. And then back to some of our familiar faces. Good on Seth Shirley, though. This is the second round in a row where he's gotten out front in this second moto. See if he could maybe even stretch it out on Cooper Hunt, give himself an opportunity to win this one. Seems like he's been very close on occasion. He's definitely got the speed. Consistency, unfortunately, it seems like it comes and goes a little bit for him. Sometimes he can get into that zone and feel comfortable. Sometimes it just falls apart a little bit too easily. But right now it's looking good, but a little mistake just like that almost put him on the ground. The front end tucked over that rut. And boy, that was close. So Shirley maintains the lead. Hunt is still back there with Eagland and Johnson. And it feels like at any moment, one of these guys is going to make their move. Whether it be Eaglin just charges up and battles for the lead, Johnson puts down some burners and gets into the mix, or perhaps Cooper Hunt slides around Shirley, or maybe even Shirley ups the ante again and starts pulling away. At least for right now, though, Hunt has kept him honest, and that has afforded him a shot at the race lead at the 7-minute mark of this one. Nothing in it between these two. Nearly touching tires in the corner. And Hunt tried to get up the inside there, but just couldn't quite get a nose in, and now almost lays it down on the exit of that corner. Meanwhile, we have lost Eaglin. He has slipped back to 5th. That promotes Payson Johnson up into 3rd. Scarblord 420 asks, how many teams are there for these events? I mean, it can vary as Cooper Hunt goes up the inside and takes over the race lead away from Shirley. And now the battle really seems like it's going to settle in here. Shirley is going to try to fight back. But yeah, the teams thing, I mean, some teams are very big. Underground RC has a pretty strong contingent. Atom.com, I think, has 5 or 6 riders. And then you have a smaller effort like Alexis Leclerc. I mean, that is the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna Factory Racing Team. They have some riders that ride for them, but you don't see them all the time. Ben Seberg is on that team. It's actually ran by Real Life Pro on the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna Factory team, Arminas Jasikonis. So it just depends. Some teams have a big contingent, some have a small, and I don't know, you probably have somewhere in the area of 15 different teams fielding riders in any given race or so. Some guys like to just go straight privateer route. Maybe they have their own individual sponsors that they're just on their own team. It varies, I would say. Biggest team I was ever on, the SYS Vitamin Water Racing Team in 2017 had 15 riders on it. So we had 5 or 6 guys race in Europe, 5 or 6 in the USA, 5 or 6 that didn't race at all. But sometimes teams can get that big for sure. Oh, Oh, Shirley made a small mistake, and capitalizing immediately on it was Payson Johnson. And so now our two title combatants essentially running 1 and 2. Johnson won the first moto, gained a lot of points on Hunt because of it. Now he's in position to claim the overall with 1-2 scores, but some tells me he wants to go 1-1 here today, maximize his points haul. Oh, Johnson sees the rear end kick around, and then Shirley right behind him almost laid it down as well. These guys are struggling. This track surface, it's kind of slippery. It's not necessarily cut and dry, good traction all the way throughout. There are going to be some slick spots, some areas that these guys will maybe break loose on. And, oh, Johnson almost through the front door. So Cooper Hunt, he has to know at this point, obviously, that Johnson, his teammate, has moved into second place. 40.0 last time by, a 37.2. Kind of gives you an indication that Johnson will be on him before long here, and it seems that is certainly the case. Under 2 seconds now. Oh, but Johnson, a huge mistake, a nice save. I don't know how the heck he did not actually go down right there. Nicely done, though, for the number 351. And the next problem that we're about to face with these guys is Cooper Hunt is going to hit a group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lappers. All pretty much in a freight train right now before long. So that might certainly make things interesting as he has to weave through a couple guys already. I also noticed there's a huge group of guys all linked together back here. You got Shields, O'Brien, Sullivan. Then you got Ringstrom, Thompson with Tharp. Thompson goes down. Matherly, Casey Cochran, Erickson, Tyler Blowers, Chris Post, Jack Gatlin, Rogan McIntosh. Thompson gets up with Alec Horn and Frazaka. Like, there's a massive smattering of guys, basically 11 through 20 right there. But back to our leader, I feel like things are going to get a little bit more tense up here before long, especially now that Johnson's closed that gap back in pretty quickly. Cooper Hunt trying to hold off the charge from Payson Johnson. Lap traffic is certainly going to be a factor here. We have got 3 riders right ahead of this one right now. One of them looks like it's Jaden Wilson, who was 3rd in the first moto. You got Ryan Pinkerton on the 395 as well. And he goes down around the outside. Is that the 114 of Will Clark as well? Yes, it is. And Hunt is just going to barely squeak through. Johnson has to jump aside as well. Doolies over the race tech table. Johnson and the 59 machine there, tossing them sideways. Ooh, oh, Johnson hops over Trevin Thompson, who was down on the ground. Wow. That 59 machine is Kevin Frazaka, by the way. Hunt and Johnson here, nose to tail still. This battle is going to tighten up here very quickly. Johnson down the inside. Hunt and Johnson are nose to tail here for the race lead. Coming up at the halfway point of this one. Oh, over top almost. I thought Johnson was going to send it down into the valley. And almost into the back of Hunt. He's making a lot of mistakes, and Hunt is just pretty much riding a perfect defensive race right now, but now he makes a little mistake, crosses back over, and Johnson to the front. Hunt, I think, wanted to go right back up the inside, but just could not quite make it happen. And now Johnson goes into the race lead at the halfway point. Interesting question in chat from Brian Triplett. Says, y'all ever think about getting good enough at a game you make money? I get MX Sim and the passion, but the time they put into this, they could put into a lot of other games and make money. And then says, instead they let SYS capitalize on their skill. I don't even get the community part of this game. Like, this is probably the largest content creator for it with 55 watchers. I mean, well, first of all, the first question is, y'all ever think about getting good enough in another game to make money? A lot of these guys, I should say, are good at other games. Are they good enough to make money at all these other games? Sometimes not, I guess, but to be good at Sim, you have to be some of the best hand-eye coordination in gaming, honestly. So I think that, you know, it's a good question because some of these guys could be some of the best gamers in another game, sure. But you also have to enjoy the game that you do it in, you know? For example, from my side, I suck at first-person shooter games. I suck at Fortnite. I suck at all that stuff. But I never even wanted to be good at those games, you know? Like, I don't have fun playing those games. I had a ton of fun playing Sim and the career that I had in this game. So it made me want to put the effort in and want to do well, as Johnson's going to get together with a lapped rider and go down. Hunt's got to watch out. Oh, and Hunt is going to go back into the race lead. But, yeah, I mean, I think you have to really want to be good at the game. That, you know, whether it makes money or not, I think a lot of these guys, like, I feel like pretty much everybody that plays these games also races motocross in some capacity in real life. We have a lot of real-life pro motocross racers that actually compete in this game. And it's a fun game if you get good at it. So anybody that's gotten good at it knows the enjoyment of it, knows how fun it can be. But like, I never would have had fun being competitive in like Rocket League or something like that. Like, it's a fun game, but it's just it's not fun to be competitive in. It's fun to be competitive in this game, honestly. Yeah, I had to put a lot of hours into it to be good at it, but when I was competitive and could actually contend for like top 10s and stuff like that, some of the most fun days gaming I've ever had. You just feel the flow, you get tunnel vision, you put a 30+2 together. I mean, it's so rewarding. Even if you don't make any money or get anything out of it, it's like a personal accomplishment, a personal achievement, if you will, that you set out a goal and you did it almost. So not to get all, like, I guess, soapboxy, but I feel like the people that are good at this game and want to do well in this game do it because they're, you know, almost mentally trying to set like a goal or an achievement for themselves that they feel is maybe unobtainable. And when they get to that level, it's quite enjoyable. But I get where you're coming from. Yeah, a lot of these guys, the hours they put in, I mean, I've probably put at least a few thousand hours into the game, probably a lot more. But I get it. But I mean, on top of, you know, saying like SYS capitalize on them, I mean, I guess so in a way, because, you know, people come here, they donate to me specifically, and I do make like some money off of it. I don't make that much money though for this, and I've always tried to look at it more or less in the other direction, that these guys are some of the best gamers I've ever seen in the world, and I want to give them the attention they deserve, I guess. And this community has always been really great to me, so I feel like the least I can do is return the favor by trying to adequately show off the skill sets that they possess. You're right, you know, like, it sucks that I do make some money off of it, and some of these guys, some of them don't make any money, and you could make the argument that I should, like, you know, pour funds back into it or whatever, but I don't know. I never really looked at it as like, man, I'm making so much money that these guys are getting nothing. Like, wow, you know what I mean? So, anyway, but I get your point. These guys are good enough. They could be good at other games too, and yeah, it's two flip sides of the coin. Like, I tried to give the community an outlet that shows off how good they are, but in turn, I maybe benefit the most from it. So it's a catch-22. Let's give you guys a top 20 rundown. I haven't done that yet. So it's brought to you by atom.com. atom.com got a music line over there, got some merch. Definitely go support him. Adam Holm has been a really good community member here in MX Simulator for years, and one of the fastest riders in the game for half a decade at this point. So if you're a fan of his, go support him. AYETOM.com. And check out what he's putting together over there. He brings you this top 20 rundown with Cooper Hunt on the number 20, Underground RC Cowie out front. Got Seth Shirley on the atom.com number 80 machine running in second. Colby Eaglin on the number 24 runs in third. Braden Carter on the Phil's number 19 up into fourth. Payson Johnson, who was leading at one point, has slipped back to fifth, so it's come unglued a little bit here for the 351. Sixth is Logan Leitzel on the number 37 Underground RC machine. Seventh for Trevor Burns. Also on the Underground effort, number 17. Johan Bordeaux, the Frenchman on the motorsport.com, number 394, runs in 8th. 9th behind him is Seth Carr. Another Underground RC machine, the 347. And P10 is Luke Sullivan, Phil's KTM number 11. Running in 11th, behind the number 11, is Noah McLaughlin, the 124 Cyber Designs. I think that's a Honda. Solid ride for him today. Tyler Shields on the 217 Stool Bend machine, just ahead of Casey Cochran on the BPC number 62 Yamaha. They are battling for 12th. So 12th and 13th respectively. Chris Post in 14th on the dopest 164 machine. 15th for Samuel Renard on the Panic Rev 374. 16th for Jaden Wilson back here, coming in effort on the 260. 17th for Alec Horn, number 310 mobgraphics.com ride. Kane Matherly for Stance on the 195 back here in 18th. Jack Gatlin, the BPC number 369 Yamaha, runs 19th. And Braden Tharp, Phil's KTM effort out here on the 415, runs in 20th. That's the top 20 rundown brought to you by atom.com. And overalls are going to be all over the place here. Cooper Hunt out front, still 7.5-ish seconds up on Shirley. And yeah, no sweat, Brian. I mean, I get the people that criticize me. I really do. In one hand, you have some people that criticize me that say, like, I take this too seriously and I put too much effort into it or whatever. But from day one in commentating, my broadcast career, whatever you want to call it, I actually always kind of viewed this as practice in a way. Because my end goal with my career is to end up, broadcasting Supercross or motocross for real. Like, that would be, I just don't even know. I can't describe how much that would mean to me if I get that opportunity someday. And, fortunately, I have a job and a career path set ahead of me that maybe makes that a reality someday. But I get the criticisms of taking this game too seriously when there's not much on the line. There's not a lot of money. There's not really even that much fame on the line. But I try to give the best performance that I can for these guys because I was once them. I won a moto at Butts Creek in the 450 class here in 2014. And Nathan Nickerson was the broadcaster back then, and I love Nate. He's a good guy, but I worked really hard to win that race, and he gave a very lackluster call of that broadcast, I would feel like. So I always try to give the best for these guys because I know the position they're in. I know how hard it is to win these races, and I get excited for them. You know, it's cool to see the goals that they have turn into realities, you know. But I also get where you're coming from too, where, you know, I'm like benefiting from these guys that aren't making that much. A lot of people say the same thing about like NBC benefiting from like privateers in pro motocross and telling their stories, but then they don't make anything, and NBC's raking in dough on advertising and stuff. Like, there's always a trickle down effect. There's always kind of two sides to every coin. I try to put myself in both shoes and understand each circumstance as they come. But you know, I believe that these guys try their hardest. I try my hardest for them, and at the end of the day, I hope at least that we put a good product out there and people kind of understand how much some of this racing means for the community. Keeping an eye on some battles here. Can we get a Carter check? What moto is this? A Carter check. Braden Carter, who's in the chat here with us right now, he is currently holding down 4th place. 145.8 last time by. He is on a Team Nami number 16. I don't even know whose bike this is, because it wouldn't be Chase Blakely. Actually, I mean, who is number 16 right now? I don't even know who number 16 is. Can I zoom in? I can almost read that name on the front fender. Oh, sweet, he went down. Thanks, Braden, for going down. Oh, what's the name on the bike? How do I not see it? Glizzy... What? Glizzy something. Weak Hogness? I've never heard of the guy, to be honest with you. It's funny, though. Wonder, why are you on Team Nami's bike? Because Phil's doesn't have a 250 for you? Is that the case? I know you ran a 125 in the first moto. Hubbard check P35 on the 125. Hubbard isn't P35, he is P20. Old Bubbard out here ripping up the 2 smoke. Glizzy Gladiators. Some people don't like JLV's 125 sound, but I mean, it's just so nostalgic to me. It's like when you, I guess like almost when you load up, like for me, when I load up Supercross 2002, and the bikes in that game, they sound funky. They don't sound good. But for me, it's like nostalgic. Or Excite Bike 64, same thing. The 2 strokes, they have a weird noise to them in that game, but nostalgia to me. And I feel the same with JLV's 2 strokes. Dylan Love is going to try to run you down, Hubbard. It's pretty fun having you guys in the chat that were a part of this race. Like, we go get a Braden Carter check. And here he is in the chat just hanging out. He's giving Colby Eagland some fits. Goes back around Eagland. Scrublord says, SYS, how many real-life motos have I been to? Like, how many pro motocross races have I been to in my life? Gosh, well, I can definitely count the ones that I've been to that weren't in Southern California, because I've been to a ton in SoCal. Been to Washougal twice now. Went in 2013 and now 2021. I've been to Redbud once, 2021. I've been to Millville once, 2021. I've been to Uddevalla once, 2006. What other tracks? That might be it, actually. But then I've been to, I mean, Every single pro national that's ever happened at Paula, I've been to. Every single pro national that's happened at Glen Helen since 1998, except one. I didn't go in 2009, but I've been to every single one since. Went to every MXGP race they had there. Went to all the pro motocross races at Elsinore. I don't know. It probably adds up to something like 30 different races I've been to. Yeah, and I was there at Redbud for Nations. So I guess you could say I've been to Redbud twice. And then Supercrosses, it's the number doesn't exist. It's been a lot. First ever Supercross I went to, 1998, Los Angeles, the opening round at the Coliseum. And also the last race they ever had at the Coliseum. And then I went to San Diego the week, or 3 weeks after that. It was round 5. And then I've been to San Diego every single year that they've had it in San Diego since. I usually go to at least one Anaheim, if not 2 or 3. Been to most of the Glendales that they've had. Been to a lot of the Vegases in the recent years. I don't know, you add it all together, probably been over 50 or 60 Supercrosses in my life. I prefer motocross to Supercross. Supercross is great, but motocross is the core of the sport, so I've always been a kind of a bigger fan of analyzing motocross, I guess. Supercross, I think, provides better drama for the sport. I think motocross, it's cooler to watch riders do what they do. Hit ruts the way they do, hop through braking bumps, you know, scrub a jump some way or pre-jump something cooler. It just, I think, looks cooler in motocross. How many pro riders have I met in person? Again, that number is now soaring, I would say. When you work at racetracks, you kind of tend to meet a lot of pro riders. Like in a single day at a national now, I'll probably talk to minimum 10 different riders, probably somewhere closer to 20. White flag is waving for Cooper Hunt. Yeah, I'd love to hear your guys', I mean, how many pros have you guys met in real life? How many Supercross races have you guys been to in the chat? What do you prefer, outdoors or indoors? I like knowing what you guys like. I'm the journalist. I'm the one that's supposed to ask the questions. Cooper Hunt's going to win this second moto, but couples it with that 7th in the first one. He is not going to win the overall. Oh, Johnson down again. That's going to allow Shirley back by. Couple more corners left, though. Cooper Hunt going to limit the damage done here. Payson Johnson wins the first moto, extends it a little bit closer to Hunt in the points situation. But Hunt responds in the second moto as he comes through to take an emphatic MX2 Race 2 victory here in Sweden. And he's going to get a little bit of help. Seth Shirley is going to try to hold off Payson Johnson. Oh, one more couple of corners. Johnson's going to give it the business down here to the flag. What does Johnson have lined up for the last turn? Surely he has something. Oh, got him. Shirley up the outside. Johnson to the inside. It's a dead tie almost over the line. 8/1000ths of a second. Seth Shirley gets second place. And that is almost certainly going to come down to penalties. Logan Leitzel brings it through the last turn. He will end up 4th in this one. Braden Carter hanging out in the chat, also shredding his way to a 5th place in MX2 Race 2 here at Sweden, or will he? No, he's good. That's Matherly a lap down behind him. So Carter 5th, Eagland 6th. Got Trevor Burns coming through here in 7th. Luke Sullivan, he'll end up 8th in this one on the 11. And P9 will be Johan Bordeaux, last rider on the lead lap. 10th for Seth Carr, 11th Jaden Wilson, 12th for Tyler Shields, 13th Noah McLaughlin, 14th for Alec Horn, 15th goes to Samuel Renard, 16th for Chris Post. Cade Matherly ends up 17th in this one. And as you can see on the pit board, he has been mooted. Jacob Hubbard ends up 18th, 19th for Casey Cochran, and 20th went to Rasmus Eriksson. Let's take a look at cuts. Ooh, Eriksson jumps around Cochran to get 19th, actually. So Cochran drops to 20th. And wow, Shirley holds on for second. Cooper Hunt wins the second moto. And since I am here, let's actually pull up the overalls from this event, because I can. Results, MX2, overall, Johnson 1-3 gets it from Leitzel, a 2-4, an 8-1 actually, excuse me, for Hunt, ends up 3rd overall. Seth Shirley with his second in that second moto ends up 4th, and Jaden Wilson goes 3-11 to round out the top 5. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Payson Johnson wins the MX2 race here in Sweden, and now we got one more race left to go tonight. So actually, let me fix this real quick. 450 Moto 2 coming up. Fix the moto timer. Hey, and back in booth here with you guys. Kellen Brower going to bring you guys one more race tonight. We've been broadcasting for almost 5 hours at this point. So we're going to creep up on like 5.5 to almost 6 hours total by the end of the evening. Crazy day. Streaming the Belgian Grand Prix earlier, the recast of that, and now the recast of Sweden. And we got one more to go, MXGP Race 1 coming up. It's late, and hopefully you guys are still hanging out, having a good time. Read a couple of you guys' answer in chat about that maybe pros that you guys have met. Jeff Sparks says, coolest guy I met was Travis Pastrana. He's a pretty cool guy to meet. Custom Off-Road says he prefers Supercross in-game because he plays Supercross for the game, but outdoors real IRL, so in real life. Braden Carter says, haven't met many actual motocross pros, but my cousin is actually a professional BMX rider, Dennis Anderson, and I've got to meet all those guys. That's pretty cool. Nice. Wildest guy that Jeff Sparks met was Mike Metzger, and Hubbard met Braden Carter IRL once. He's a ripper. Absolutely. Braden Carter definitely barks. Hubbard met Mike Alessi. Damian Lawyer met and hung out with Caleb Hall. Jeff Sparks also met Robbie Renard and his mom, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I definitely can't time out this time. Yes, sir, Hubbard. We will have a Budds Creek recast tomorrow at like 2 p.m. Pacific probably. So 5 p.m. Eastern. And then finally we're back on schedule. So my my little mini hell week I've created myself here. Got 5 broadcasts in 3 days. Pretty much give or take like 15 hours of streaming in a 3-day time span. Really, it's pretty much in like a 48-hour time span, fit in 15 hours of streaming, but call it 3 days. And we are about to load in for the final race of this Tuesday extravaganza. Wait a minute. I don't like this. Did I load up the wrong race? Did I do MX? I thought I pressed... Did I press that one? Darn. Pressed the wrong one. Lunchtime in Australia right now. Indeed. I will have a sip of water to that. Still getting over this sickness, so not putting down the alcohol. Sorry, it's 2 p.m. in Aus now, so not quite lunchtime anymore. Braden Carter says, you can watch me throw the podium start at Bud's by going for the quad. Oh, so you went for the quad that Dylan hit, I'm assuming? I'm sure we'll catch it on the broadcast. I'm just grinding to make you guys look the best that I can. Doing what I can do. Damien Lawyer asked, Braden, you think you can win another championship in the Supercross season? Carter says, of course. Will I? Probably not. Hey, we believe in you. The number 1 plate might be a little heavier than the 19, but there's still faith. And you have to break the curse, too. The last repeat champion was, what, Tyson? Oh, it's forever ago. 2017? Good grief. All right, who are we going to watch on the start here? Leclerc? I mean, of course we're going to watch Leclerc. All right, one more race to go. Let's get it done, folks. Get that moto timer up. And get ready to drop the gate here. Final race of the day. MXGP Race 2 here in Sweden. 30 cards sideways. The man runs himself off the track, and we are ready to go here in Sweden. Oh, Leclerc down hard. Is that Tomic also flipping way off the track? So several riders are going to be a little further back, I think, because of that. Meanwhile, Tyler Lang rips the hole shot. Lang, Holm, Magnetti, Castellaneta all up here. Holm and Carter, or Holm and Lang, I should say, side by side. And Lang almost off the track, so Magnetti is going to shoot through and into second. Castellaneta might even get to third. Lang floundering a little bit here. Oh, and Lang gets together with Magnetti and goes down. That causes a huge pileup. Janice was down as well. And Brett Powers, one of the riders to get through, Caden Speck. Castellaneta got going with Neil Fitzpatrick just ahead of him. Then Cohenauer. Adam Holm leads here. MXGP Race 2. So now the question begs, can Holm pull away with finally ripping a pretty good start here? And at least for the time being, not immediate pressure from guys you would expect to contend. Cohenauer is no slouch, but he has had kind of an off year, I think, from his standards. I think you would assume things would have gone a little bit better for him so far. They just kind of haven't. Neil Fitzpatrick, he's been pretty good of late. Oh, but now Cohenauer goes down, takes Fitzpatrick with him. That will promote Speck, I believe. Oh, no, that's Austin Bear, excuse me. Oh, Austin Bear moving to second at the end of the first lap on the Phil's KTM. Neil Fitzpatrick getting kicked out in the chicane. Then you got Castellaneta. How about Donut MX up here inside the top 5? He's got the 65 of Rockefeller, and Leclerc, who was down in the first corner, already up to 7th. No surprise there. A little bit of a freight train developing early on. Ooh, that was a mistake by Fitzpatrick that allowed Castellaneta to slide through, and now Leclerc is trying to take advantage of it as well, and he will do so. Fitzpatrick, a couple of small mistakes turned into 3 lost positions. Rider down in the background, that may have been Rockefeller on the 65. So Austin Bear is going to deal with some pressure as he holds down second. Leclerc and Castellaneta side by side behind him. And Leclerc already trying to shoot up into second after being down in the first turn before the second lap is even over. Oh, Bear sideways. Almost gets into Leclerc, and Leclerc will shoot down the inside and take over that second spot. Pretty good save by Bear, but loses the position in the process. And now Castellaneta going to be hot on his heels for that 3 spot. So Leclerc moves up to second as Holm leads the race, and we have our 2 most recent MXGP World Champions out front. Holm, the 2019 champ, and Leclerc, your reigning 2020 champ here in second. And Austin Bear with Castellaneta second, or third and fourth, excuse me. Fitzpatrick fifth, Magnetti sixth. Brett Powers back here in seventh, and then Lang going to be kicking himself. The opportunity was there with Leclerc on the ground and Lang getting the whole shot, and we're not even 2.5 laps in, and Lang is already behind Leclerc. Trying to work on Brett Powers first, and then Castellaneta up the road of them. Who's that just ahead of these guys? That's Magnetti and Fitzpatrick, I believe. We're battling for fourth. They're a couple seconds off of Bear. Oh, they're coming together. Oh, Magnetti down. Clip the collision box there of Fitzpatrick, and he's going to lose 5, maybe 6 or 7 spots because of it. Ends up snuggled here between Kohenauer and his teammate Blakely, but going to go around the outside and maybe get right back around Kohenauer into this corner. Well, Kohenauer fights back. Magnetti to the inside. Oh, and there's nothing in it between these two. Magnetti lays it over. Kohenauer completely blows the dualies. There's still nose to tail. Now Kohenauer is the Oreo cream in this BPC sandwich. It's like they're kind of separating a little bit. Brett Powers still going to work on Tyron Tomic. Oh, riders down. Castellaneta and Lang. Powers will slide through, and Magnetti off the side of the track. Doesn't quite get around Lang, and that opens the door of opportunity once again for Kohenauer with Blakely right in tow. Now Blakely might have an inside move on Kohenauer in the background, and he does get around the 15 as Magnetti goes to work on Lang. Meanwhile, Holmes lead down to 1.1, so I think it's about time to go take a look at that. These two are opening up about a 9-second advantage there on Bear, who still holds to third. Leclerc is just lurking now on Holm, trying to go into the race lead and make this a 1-1 day in Sweden. It's kind of a surprise not to see him pull it off in Lommel. It's usually sand surfaces, something that Leclerc has been very good at through his career, but now showing what he's made of here in Sweden, and quickly through on Holm in the end. Holm almost had no fight into that corner, and Leclerc has taken the lead after being down in the first corner, and 7 minutes of this race is now behind us. So still 23 minutes left for Leclerc to just completely obliterate everybody, as Tomic is in third now, Fitzpatrick fourth, Lang fifth, Powers sixth. So looks like Austin Bear dropped from third to seventh, but now goes back to sixth around Powers. He's dealing with Magnetti and Blakely again. The BPC riders running together. Blakely tries to go down the inside of his teammate, but nothing doing just yet there. Now to the outside goes Magnetti, and Bear is going to have the option to go wide, but Magnetti shuts the door, and now Bear is in this little Oreo sandwich here. Pushes wide, and Blakely going to try to go to the outside here. And will he make that pass? Bear is trying to fight back. They're going to go nearly side by side into this tabletop. Dualies a little bit. Not too big of ones, but both little kick out whips. And Blakely in the end will make that pass stick. Brett Powers has Janice and Kohenauer getting together behind him. Then you got Jeffrey Bruns and Castellaneta. Frank Jackson behind them. Caleb Hall, Aaron Rockefeller, Jonathan Alexander off the side of the track, so B-Lars, Brandon Larson goes through with Caden Speck hot on his heels. Ooh, and Speck now gets into the back of old Blars and goes down. So the positions are being jockeyed, while up front Leclerc has already opened up to a 6-second advantage on Adam Holm. And looks like he is ready to leave them in his rearview mirrors and then break those mirrors off so he doesn't look back anymore. So, as this race looks like it has already developed into a bit of a yawner, the BPC guys are keeping it interesting because they have been nose to tail and they're kind of working through guys together. Patrick inside trying to defend on Blakely, but that power of the BPC Yamaha around the outside just too much for Fitzpatrick to keep behind, and Blakely moves up yet another position. Anyway, how we doing, chat? Coming up to 10 minutes of this moto. What kind of burning questions do we have at the midpoint of this one? A lot of you guys in this chat already know the end of this story, but I don't even know who's going to win this overall. That's a joke. I feel like Leclerc is going to win it pretty easily as Holm has gone down now to second. And is still going to get up in second place. So now Leclerc has, what, a 18-second, 15-second lead, I guess, now to work with. 37-1 last time by. This dude is unreal. Unreal. Alexis Leclerc, he is so fast, so fluid. It's like a little bit of poetry in motion. Shed a tear, perhaps. Oh, Leclerc into the back of a lapped rider and down. Not sure who that is. It's somebody's skins I don't have. And now Holm going to get into the mix. Actually, Hubbard, while you're in chat, I'll let you know that I still have not finished a single lap on Jacob's Ladder. Hence why I've not done a single video on it. I've probably put 15 hours into that track now and nothing. But hey, if you build something similar to Stairway to Heaven again, but not as gnarly as Jacob's Ladder, I may do it for a video. Tomic, Lang, pretty close together here for third, so this is going to be Lang's opportunity, but just as I say that, he goes down. He's going to right the ship just as Blakely gets there. It's not, oh, that's Pilsner. That's right, I forgot. My bad, my bad. I knew it was one of the Jacobs. Oh yeah, he's not even Jacob Pilsner, he's Joseph. What the heck? Why is it called Jacob's Ladder? What in tarnation? Track walk will be coming back probably at the end of Nationals. Quite honestly, Nationals, when you work for Racer X, are gnarly. They're a lot of fun. But man, they're time consuming. So I feel like lately it's been like get on a plane Thursday, work for 3 straight days as hard as you possibly can, fly back Sunday, and then I have to somehow not die as I then work all day Monday for Racer X, posting stuff, do the GP stream, work all day Tuesday for Racer X, finally have a night off. Work all day Wednesday for Racer X, do the national stream, and then get ready to get back on a plane on Thursday. So it's like finding time to create content at all is not easy. Jacob's Ladder is a book where the protagonist literally goes insane. So that's why he named it that, because it's such a difficult track. Yeah, I hate it. Dude, it's so hard. Oh, man. I really wanted to do it as a sequel because the Stairway to Heaven video was so successful with doing it with Heckman. But, man, every time I load up that track, I throw my controller out the window. Second lead now for Leclerc on Tomic, as he is now assumed second place away from Adam Holm. Chase Blakely back here in fourth. Got Tyler Lang down in fifth here. Neil Fitzpatrick sixth. Austin Bear seventh. So Austin Bear, he was in chat a little earlier saying, don't worry. He throws it away. He barely scores points this moto, but we're at the halfway point here. He is still seventh. Where is barely scoring points at this point? Let's say 19th is barely scoring points. It's still like 8 corners behind him. So Austin Bear, he's holding on. Holding on for dear life. Oh, that's a way to throw it away. Slides down up the face of the takeoff, and off the side of the track he goes. So he's going to lose 2-3 spots maybe. Castaneda jumping over top of him as well. Would be the second spot he lost. If he loses it, and he does. And then Bear gets back around for 8th. All right, halfway through. Let's give you guys a top 20 rundown. Brought to you by the folks at R Jerky. Hey, all of you people in chat right now, I see you, JG. I see you, Hubbard. I see you, Austin Bear. I see you, Custom Off-Road. Why have you guys not gone to eatrjerky.com and used the code SYS20 for 20% off your order? I mean, seriously. It's basically like they're handing out beef jerky over there. But it's good stuff, high quality. They support this janky live stream we do every week. And care enough about MX Simulator that they want you guys to have a discount. So head over there, buy some beef jerky. Why not? It's delicious, tasty flavors all about. The sizzling hot, a little bit too much for me, but they have like teriyaki, they have black pepper, they have 7 Deuce Deuce. There's good flavors, plenty of stuff. Definitely would recommend. The ring of this top 20 rundown brought to you by Alexis Leclerc, or brought to you by R Jerky. Alexis Leclerc leads the race here, halfway through Mxgp Race 2 in Sweden. Rockstar Energy Husqvarna Factory Racing, the #1 machine. Out front, 17 seconds ahead of Tyron Tomic, the Australian rider, on the CV number 23 in second. Adam Holm on the #2 atom.com machine in third. Chase Blakely, the #21 BPC Yamaha in fourth. And Tyler Lang inside the top 5 on his underground RC #4. Luke Magnetti runs 6th on the BPC #13. 7th for Neil Fitzpatrick. Proline Designs #71. 8th is Braden Castaneda on the underground RC #12. 9th for Austin Bear. Phil's KTM #64. And 10th, Frank Jackson, the Team Nami #49 effort. Brett Powers, the General Insurance Wildside Designs rider on the 40, ripping the 252 stroke in 11th. Right behind him is 12th, Matthias Janis, Underground RC effort on the 130. Gonna go to the outside of Powers and move his way into 11th. 13th for Jonathan Alexander, the Phil's KTM #53. 14th is Caleb Hall, the Underground RC #45. 15th for Jeffrey Bruns, atom.com 333 machine, ahead of Brandon Larson. And 16th on the Stance #245. 17th is Aaron Rockefeller on the Underground RC #65. 18th for Jeremy Cohenauer on the #15 MV Films effort. 19th for Chase Donovan on the Proline Designs #73. And 20th for Jet Wisdom on the BPC Yamaha #99. That has been a top 20 rundown brought to you by R Jerky. Head back to this battle between Lang and Blakely. Crossover lines. Lang to the outside. Blakely has the option to defend and will do so. So Lang is just going to tuck right behind him, get right up under that rear fender. Oppo dualies, kind of different direction from each other. Lang's going to try to tuck to the inside here before the finish line jump. Not going to work just yet, though. Blakely holds steady on the outside. Now Lang's got a good drive off the finish line jump, and he has the ability to square off through the S curve here. Down is that Holm. Adam Holm was down. So Lang and Blakely both slide through into third. Blakely launching out there. All right, Custom Off-Road. See you later, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you have a fabulous rest of your day there down in Australia. I believe that's where you said you're from. But thanks for tuning in. And Blakely has actually opened it back up on Lang a little bit here, so perhaps the back and forth battle between them ignited a flame on that blue and black seat beneath Chase Blakely's behind, and he has turned up the fire a little bit, but now Lang is starting to creep back into the frame. How's it going, Michael is Trash? Welcome to the stream. These guys are also keen to keep an eye on the 23 machine ahead of them. That's Tyron Tomic. This battle's been just going steady. Oh, Lang. Oh, looked like he's going to force the issue there. Maybe thought better of it, started to lay it down, and now he swaps down, but he stays upright. But he looked like he maybe off screen there kind of pirouetted down a little bit. So we still got Leclerc out front, 25-second gap back to Tomic. Another 9 or so seconds back to Blakely. 4 back to Lang, 3 back to Holm. And Magnetti is right on Holm now, so here we go. What is up, my dude? Chopper69, thank you so much. Following about a year now, and says that he thinks I'm the best. No, you are the best, Chopper. Oh, Adam Holm is not the best right now, though. He is just high-sided his way off the bike, and Magnetti has gone through. But seriously, thank you so much, Chopper, for the support. I apologize that this year, content-wise, has been lacking a little bit. It's going to turn around soon. But thank you so much for following this year, and hope we continue to see your support throughout the years. Michael is Trash. You've been watching since 2016. That's awesome. Thank you so much. That would have been when we had, what, like under 10K subs? It's awesome. Love to see the support from way back when, too. Welcome back, Gary Turton. So when can we expect to see Kellen trackside reporting the pro races? I think that's still a ways out, to be honest with you. But I don't know. I feel like sometimes I've been surprised lately with the rapidness, I guess, in which things happen. Like I met Steve Mathis, for example, in January of 2020, and 2 weeks later I was asked to be on the Pulp Show after Jason Wygant, who I drove up to his house, left. So I was on for like the last 40 minutes of the show. And then about 2 months after that, he invited me to be a full-time like co-host, like a full 5-hour Pulp MX show. And I definitely didn't think that was going to happen. Like I thought that it would take me years for Mathis to be like, hey, you want to co-host the show one time? And now I've co-hosted it twice. And he keeps saying, let me know when I can come up again and do a third. So like stuff like that blows my mind that I'm even a part of that. So I feel like the broadcasting thing, it's going to happen kind of when it happens almost. Like I'm around, I'm at the races, I'm involved with TV a little bit more now. I've done some TV spotting for NBC. So I know the TV crew well. Does that mean I'm going to be a pitside reporter tomorrow? No, but you know, I'm I'm getting my name out there, so hopefully it's something that actually does come to fruition. As Tyler Lang has reassumed second place, Tomic went down, and now Blakely settles in behind T. Lang here. Damian Lawyer says, I've been watching since 2014 and then fell in love with Sim. Didn't get it till 2020. Wow. Dedication. Watching all these years and didn't even get the game that we most commonly highlight on the channel. So that is respect. Watching all these years. Thank you so much. But hey, you got the game now, so maybe you're enjoying playing it more than you are watching it, huh? Coming down to the last 6-ish minutes, plus 2 laps here of the night. Tyler Lang, Chase Blakely going to be in a bit of a battle for second. Tomic looks like he's kind of wicked it back up. He's trying to go back after Blakely for third. Just as I say that, makes a couple mistakes. Kind of loses the trail there of Blakely. Yes, Chopper, I do ride in real life. I mentioned a little earlier, I don't ride as much as I'd like to, and I definitely wish I could ride more. But when you go to the pro races every weekend, you don't really get a chance to ride that much. So, gonna get back into it a little bit this off-season, I think, hopefully. We'll see. Hubbard, don't know if I told you this, but I plan on finishing a recap of my SX season. It's basically a massive edit recap of the 2021 SX season, and I used voiceover clips from the stream. Hey, that's awesome. I appreciate that you use my clips of the stream. It's interesting. I do have some people reach out to me sometimes and ask for permission to use the stream clips. And while it's super nice and thoughtful of you, like, I'm honestly like kind of honored that you guys would even consider using them. So yeah, please use them. You know, the only thing I say is like don't re-upload full broadcasts on your channel. Like it'd be, you know, kind of mean to do that to me, I feel like. But yeah, by all means, use the clips of me calling whatever important moment of the season you feel I mentioned something about you. And appreciate that you take the time to think about my calls as important enough to use in a video. Michael is trash. What is your favorite MX game? Gotta say MX Sim. I mean, I'm going on basically a decade of playing and being a part of this community and stuff like that. So all time, yeah, Sim. It's not close. But I mean, I do have games that I play now that I prefer to play more than Sim. F1 2021. Been playing more MX bikes lately, obviously. MLB The Show, things like that. ASYS, how many MX bikes vids do you have? Can you do more? I like them. I don't know. I think I've done like 7 episodes of Track Walk. I did like a 7-episode series of Progression. We've done just some MX bikes gameplay videos too, I think. So they fluctuate. I think we're up to like 25, 30 different videos of bikes now. Tom R says, Tom and Kellen working with Racetracks is probably the best thing of 2020. Dude, honestly, it's like still kind of like shocking that I get to work with Tom. And it's funny too because Tom is actually pretty big into gaming. Like he plays bikes, his buddy Matt Rice plays bikes, and apparently Jason Anderson, who they live with, also gets into it from time to time. So they knew about me like long before Tom like and Team Fried became a big deal, apparently. So it's like they're like kind of cheesing to play or to work with me, and I'm like stoked to work with Tom. Like Tom's a great dude, works his butt off for us, and produces incredible content. So yeah, it's been a blessing to work with him, honestly. All right, down to the final 2 minutes and 2 laps of this one. This is MX Simulator. Timmy Verling asks, Magnetti closing up on his teammate. We got a battle for third on our hands. KR Money made it back too. All right. The whole gang is here as we get ready to close out the night of broadcasting. Claire, 40-second lead on Lang, and then this battle for third, about 5 seconds back of that. Tomic has dropped off of these guys a little ways now, so Holm also back there. Good ride for Frank Jackson, Janice, Castellaneta, and Fitzpatrick inside of the top 10. Brett Powers still holding down 12th. Austin Bear says he barely scored points in this one, but he's 13th right now, so we'll see about barely. Ah, Chopper. Hate to hear you're sick, buddy. I was just dealing with that crap last week, man. Hopefully you're going to do better soon, and glad that we can provide some entertainment for you as the BPC riders get together and Magnetti goes down. I'm actually kind of surprised that that didn't cost them a spot. I thought Tomic was still close enough. And Holm has now dropped way back of them, so things have definitely separated here in the latter stages of this one. And Leclerc just checked in over the finish line jump, so it's actually 3 to go now, as time has just now expired on the clock. What is up, Opinio Bros? How you doing? Good to see ya. Thanks for coming to the stream. We got 3 more laps of racing left to go. Leclerc is going to make this a long one. This is going to be a 21-lap race. And the old crafty Frenchman out front is putting a hurting on the field. Ooh, Magnetti down again. Is that going to open up the opportunity for Tomic to close up? Maybe. Magnetti just getting going as Tomic comes into the corners, so it's down give or take 4 seconds or so. Oh, Magnetti down again? No, that's his teammate, Wisdom. Pardon me, that crashed up the finish line face. But Magnetti did just have a small mistake, so Tomic is going to close that gap down even more. 2.7 seconds. Do I have any thought or concerns as to a lot of racers saying they're getting ill? Honestly, no. I feel like if these guys were getting COVID, they wouldn't be coming to the races on the weekend. Like, so far the people that have missed rounds with COVID, and there have been some, not gonna say who, but those guys were like wiped out for like weeks. Like, you have to be peak physical condition to be a pro motocross athlete, and some of these guys, like, it just took them back to almost square one. So because of that, I don't think that the guys that are getting ill and still racing, like Roxon was sick at Washougal. I don't think he had COVID. I think, honestly, the problem is, and I had the same kind of experience with the sickness I just had. I didn't have COVID. My wife got tested for it. She didn't have it, and I got whatever she had. I was not, the last time I was sick until when I just got sick over this past week was October of 2019, so almost 2 whole years. And in that time, a lot of people, we stayed inside a lot, didn't go out and, be as socially active, I would say, as we used to be. From a journalistic standpoint, like, we didn't even get to talk to anybody in Supercross, so there's no point in even like going to Supercross races. So I didn't travel until the Nationals. So immune system wise, I feel like I'd almost taken a little bit of a negative hit because my immune system wasn't fighting off like germs regularly. So when I got sick last week, it was rough. Like, it was probably just a common cold. It felt like I just had sinus problems and some nausea and it's kind of usual cold symptoms, but it wiped me out. Like, I was so physically exhausted. I woke up 3 days in a row and I'm like, I'm ambitious, I'm feeling a little bit better, I'm going to try to work. I sat at my computer for like a half hour and then started falling asleep at my desk. So I think that's kind of what some of the guys are experiencing right now that are getting sick, is like they just hadn't been sick for 2 years, and their body trying to fight off the germs again is like, oh, this is killing me, Magnetti went down again in the later stages of this one. White flag is waving. What's up, Justin Cool? Says hey from Oz. Well, hello from the US. Good day, sir, because it is still daytime in Oz. One more lap to go here in Sweden, and Leclerc's lead actually has dwindled down to just 18 seconds on length, so not necessarily a foregone conclusion at this point. But it does seem like he is about to put the bow tie on a 1-1 performance, which gives me an indication why he had opened up a 23-point lead in the championship heading into round 10 in Germany. Leclerc is about to seal the deal here in Sweden. 1-1 day, and a dominant one at that too. He came all the way through the field in the first moto to steal the win away late in that one, and then this one got the lead early after crashing in the first corner, pulled out to a 40-second lead at one point. It's dwindled a little bit, but still 20 seconds at the flag. Easily a dominating performance, and Leclerc gets it done here in Sweden. Tyler Lang is damage control effort in this one, as he will come through to eventually finish second. 20 seconds behind Leclerc. Blakely will get third. Tomic should have fourth unless he crashes. Magnetti is still fairly close. You got Adam Holm down here in sixth. Janice 7th, and Frank Jackson has already finished in 8th. So Jackson was 8th, Caleb Hall 9th, Brittany Castaneda 10th, Neil Fitzpatrick crosses the line in 11th. Brett Powers ends up 12th on the two-stroke, 13th for Austin Bear, 14th for Jonathan Alexander, 15th will be Jet Wisdom by the looks of it, 16th for Brandon Larson, 17th Jeffrey Bruns, 18th was Chase Donovan, 19th for Lawson Dye, and 20th for Aaron Rockefeller as we wait for a few more of the runners to finish up here. Okay, this looks like he'll be the last rider to bring us through. Pinio Bro says, do you think you'll ever commentate the races in Monster Energy Supercross for the game? I don't know about like any of the leagues that are up for that game. You know, commentating, it takes a lot of time. I feel like I only have a day in the week to give to commentate, honestly. This week is kind of hell week for me, and honestly doing 2 races a week for Sim is a lot to do. So, you know, if there's a way to streamline it, make like hour-long broadcasts and they're a little bit shorter, more, you know, cut and dry, I feel like I would do more of them. But right now I don't have any immediate plans to commentate the Supercross 4 stuff. I do know that I can tell you I am administrating the ESX Championship Stage 2 this weekend for Steam, Xbox One, and PS4, so I'll be the lead admin for that event, and in part it's going to tie in a little bit. I'll be grabbing some footage for the eventual broadcast that Milestone will do, and hopefully I'll be able to do some of the broadcasting duties for that finale, which is going to be sometime this off season. So I'm a part of that program, but yeah, some of the other stuff I'm not really a part of. Alright, so that guy did quit. It looks like George Knight. They waved a black flag at him, but I'm not getting cuts to come through yet, so I'm not getting an official race time, unfortunately. Either way, looks like nothing was going to change too much regardless of that, as Leclerc stamps off a 1-1 performance here at Sweden. So let's button that up and take a look at our MX1 overall results on the day. Leclerc goes 1-1. Tyler Lang at a 5-2 ends up second at 2-5. Split motos with Magnetti ends up third overall. 4-4 for Tomic. He'll get fourth, and a 6-3 out of Blakely earns him fifth overall. All right. The long day of streaming is done. It's 10 p.m. on the West Coast, 1 a.m. in the East Coast right now. Thank you guys again so much for joining us all day long. Hopefully the commentary was good throughout. Obviously, I didn't want to blow my voice out too much, so that's why I was a lot more interactive with the chat. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that. But please be sure, real quick, a reminder, join us tomorrow, probably at 2 p.m. Pacific, MXS Budds Creek recast. We'll do that. And then the Ironman National live tomorrow night at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. We look forward to seeing you guys then. Hopefully you enjoyed this recast of the Swedish Grand Prix. Now we're back on track with the GP season. So let's get back on track with the MX season tomorrow with Budds Creek and Ironman. We hope to see you guys then. Of course, big shout out to racefactorygaming.com and as well rjerky and atom.com for coming on board the broadcast this year. And all you fine people that joined me all night long. Made it a lot of fun to be able to chat, interact with you guys all night long, and hopefully provide some good streams for you guys to rewatch someday in the future, maybe when you have kids and they're saying, how good were you at Sim? And you can come back and show them the Swedish Grand Prix, Alexis Leclerc. Cough, cough. But anyway, thanks guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Budds Creek National in MX Simulator. Bye-bye for now.